It's time for Huntingdon Bearcat football on the airnetwork.net and 94.1 FM in Huntingdon. Presented by Huntingdon Moose Family Center 223, the heart of the community. And by D.C. Goodman & Sons and the Goodman family. Tonight's game is also brought to you by Simone Family Chiropractic at 613 Washington Street in downtown Huntingdon. Penswoods.net, the home of free classified ads. And by Austin Smith Heating and Plumbing of Huntingdon. And now, with all the action of tonight's Bearcat football game, here's Statman Chad States and Dave Shannon, live on the Air Network and 94.1 FM in Huntingdon.
And once again, welcome to Huntingdon War Vets Field in Huntingdon, where the Bearcats are getting set to take on the Juniata kids. So here we go. The Cats off of another big win last week. Big plus in the fact that Ian Border ends up breaking a record that had been held for a reasonable amount of time. He's just been an amazing athlete and such a big part of this team. Chad, it's thank God he's durable.
Yeah, we're really, absolutely. But the thing that we saw last week, Dave, that we've continued to see is an offense that has evolved. Border had 227 yards on 8 carries and broke the school record, but we also saw an 80-yard pass play here that was all Jacob Wagner going down the left sideline on a second play from scrimmage. He's somebody's name we didn't call out much offensively at the beginning of the year. It's been Price and Border. Now we're starting to see some other kids get into the mix. So as Juniata enters tonight's game, they have to look at film and decide, what are we going to stop? We're going to stop the run, or are we going to try and stop the pass? I think it's kind of a pick-your-poison type of evening here.
Yeah, and Wagner emerged there as kind of the guy. He was the guy that would be used to say to another team, okay, we don't throw all the time to Price. And
welcome, alumni, and
so,
fans. Please rise and remove your hats.
All right, it's national anthem time. We're going to take part here, and now some commercial announcements. We'll be back.
Penswood.net Classifieds offers the freshest, most recent classified ads available with over 1,500 new ads each day. If you're looking for a reliable used vehicle, check out the multiple ads daily on Penswood.net Classifieds. From cars, trucks, RVs, and motorcycles, you can scan the ads at Penswood.net at any time of the day or night and find something that fits your needs. Looking for household items, student housing, or even a new pet? Penswood.net Classifieds has it. Penswood.net, where you can buy, sell, or trade locally.
D.C. Goodman & Sons and the Goodman family are committed and dedicated to excellence by supporting quality education and athletics for all youth of Huntingdon County. For over 3 generations, D.C. Goodman & Sons and their staff of quality tradesmen have provided excellent service in the installation of plumbing, mechanical and industrial piping, electrical, and fire sprinkler systems. Residential services are also available. D.C. Goodman & Sons and the Goodman family will continue to serve the community, and thank you for your support. The Goodman family wishes you the best to all area students in your pursuit of excellence.
The Huntingdon Moose Family Center 223 is the heart of the community, and they've got loads of activities in October. The Moose proudly presents the Huntingdon Halloween Parade on Monday, October 23rd in downtown Huntingdon. Come on down with the entire family and enjoy the evening. Also in October, you can enjoy our Friday food specials beginning at 5 p.m. Then on Saturday, October 14th, it's Reboot from 8 to 11 p.m. There's always something happening at the Huntingdon Moose Family Center 223. So join us today.
Sometimes facts are hard to face. Statistics show that obesity is a problem in the United States, and it's not getting any better. At Simone Family Chiropractic, we understand this problem. We also know that obesity leads to very serious health problems later in life. There is a way to cleanse your body and get back to optimum health. It is called the Doctor-Supervised Chirothin System, and it teaches you how and what to eat in the real world. Call us at Simone Family Chiropractic at 814-643-2616, or stop in and see us at 613 Washington Street in Huntingdon, across from All American Pizza, or find us on Facebook.
This is Ben Briggs, and you're listening to the Huntingdon Bearcats on the airnetwork.net.
And thank you, Ben, bringing us back from commercials here. As everyone stood, no one locked arms, no one took a knee, and the national anthem proceeded as it usually has for the last umpteen gazillion years at a sporting event. So just thought I'd throw that in there. Little editorial comment, I guess. But we're back, and we're getting ready to watch the Bearcats take on the Indians of Juniata. And one of the things, Chad, is the margin of victory last week for Juniata. And we may not know a lot about Millersburg, but they beat them 70-0.
Well, I think what I did find out about Millersburg is that they're lucky that it wasn't 90-0. It's not a very good football team that they played, for sure. In fact, I think it was a much lesser opponent even what Huntingdon played last week in Penns Valley. So not a real good true read off of that game. But,
they've been kind of dominant. Tri-Valley was a nice tight game that they played, 7-0.
Right.
They won.
Right.
And they did lose to Williams Valley 35-13.
This is a team that is priding itself on defense, first and foremost, and a team that's looking to develop the passing game. And one of the things that I saw, that I said in my pregame comments here tonight, is the keys to the game for Juniata is establish a passing game with their tight end, Ben Lawver. Lawver is a big, rangy tight end. He has 10 catches on the year so far. Last year's game, he dominated the game in the first half and helped put Huntingdon in that 21-7 hole that they could never dig out of. If they're able to connect with Lawver tonight, it could be a difficult task for the Bearcats. Again, on Huntington's side, what they need to do is they need to jump out to that early lead. Dave, we've seen it time and time again. First play, 40 yards. First play, 54 yards. Second play, even 80 yards. If they're able to get Juniata into a hole quickly, I don't think Juniata is the type of team that can play catch-up to be able to get with the Cats. Also, Huntingdon, Dave, we've talked about this numerous times. They've got to limit the penalties. They're averaging 6 for 54 yards per game, and that's just something that's not going to get it done, as we have talked, as they start to get in against some of the better teams. And tonight's one of those better teams.
Well, we'll see if the Bearcats defense is up to the task. One of the things, I did have a chance to talk to Coach Hootie, but because of a technical difficulty, I'm unable to bring you that particular interview. But one of the things we talked about, and I had mentioned the fact that Juniata had just come in after a 70-0 victory, and he said scores don't mean anything. And he said we never approach an opposition by looking at their previous scores to determine what they have or what they don't have. And he referred to and the things that you watch for as a coach. What kind of schemes do they use, offensively and defensively? Be that, the blocking schemes that they use to try to free up a running back or let a receiver get downfield, and by the same token, the kind of scheme they use defensively in an effort to stop the rush. And I think there's going to be that prevailing attitude for the remainder of the season that if in some way, shape, or form you can shut down Ian Border, that you can beat this team. I don't know that you can shut down Ian Border. You may be able to limit the amount of yards that he gains, but, the benchmark for how many years has been 100 yards in a game. I don't think, outside of a fact that you have a predominantly larger defense on the other side of the football, that you're going to be limiting Ian Border to something below 100 yards in a game.
Yeah, the only team to do it thus far was Tyrone, and Tyrone did a good job of moving their strong safety up to the line of scrimmage to basically try to put 8 in the box and say, hey, we're going to try and slow you down. Now, it comes to pass that, that Ian was nursing a little bit of an injury in that game, but he still popped off 80 yards in the victory. So,
and it was a 26-14 victory,
right.
So the offense wasn't completely dead. So you can't approach Huntingdon that way. It's an easy target, and it is something you want to limit, but you can't totally key in on that. We're going to come back, bring you the start of tonight's game right after this timeout. You're listening to Huntingdon Bearcat Football on the airnetwork.net and 94.1 FM Huntingdon.
Call Austin Smith Heating and Plumbing for affordable heating, plumbing, and drain cleaning services in Huntingdon. Count on 12 years of ensured excellent service when it comes to heating, plumbing, ventilation, and drain cleaning. Call Austin Smith Heating and Plumbing, available evenings and weekends at an affordable rate. Call 814-506-5128. That's 506-5128 for Austin Smith Heating and Plumbing in Huntingdon.
All-American Pizza and Subs in downtown Huntingdon at 612 Washington Street is the home of the new Bearcat Sub. Enjoy mozzarella cheese with bacon, crispy chicken, sour cream and chive fries, and our top-selling wing flavor, Mactown Gold, all wrapped on a fresh homemade roll. Try the Bearcat plus our many other great pizzas and subs at All-American Pizza and Subs. Don't forget their new Pepsi flavor shots, too. All-American Pizza and Subs will donate $1 for every pizza sold during October, with proceeds going toward breast cancer research. Call 643-0222 for delivery. Open till 9, closed Mondays.
Sometimes facts are hard to face. Statistics show that obesity is a problem in the United States, and it's not getting any better. At Simone Family Chiropractic, we understand this problem. We also know that obesity leads to very serious health problems later in life. There is a way to cleanse your body and get back to optimum health. It is called the Doctor-Supervised Chirothin System, and it teaches you how and what to eat in the real world. Call us at Simone Family Chiropractic at 814-643-2616, or stop in and see us at 613 Washington Street in Huntingdon, across from All American Pizza, or find us on Facebook.
Penswood.net Classifieds offers the freshest, most recent classified ads available with over 1,500 new ads each day. If you're looking for a reliable used vehicle, check out the multiple ads daily on Penswood.net Classifieds. From cars, trucks, RVs, and motorcycles, you can scan the ads at Penswood.net at any time of the day or night and find something that fits your needs. Looking for household items, student housing, or even a new pet? Penswood.net Classifieds has it. Penswood.net, where you can buy, sell, or trade locally.
Hi, this is Coach Hootie. The Huntingdon Bearcats were on the airnetwork.net.
Back at Huntingdon Moorvets Field in Huntingdon, getting set for tonight's game. Who won that toss, Chad?
Huntingdon won that toss and deferred into the second half, so we'll see Gio Scaccia trot out here with the Bearcat kickoff team to get things started as he's putting the team on the 40-yard line, backing up, and we'll get things started here in a matter of seconds.
Zach Piper and Jeremiah Parson are deep for the Juniata Indians. The ball is teed up, and we have a problem with the clock. It started to roll before the ball got kicked. Down to 11:49, and, of course, that'll get reset to 12, and we're set to try everything again.
There are technical difficulties abound tonight, Dave. So
technical difficulties. They always come around to bite you. All right, Gio's set, puts his hand up and approaches the football, as Chad said, at the 40, and the kick is away. It's a line drive, kind of worm burner, taken by one of the upbacks at the 20, over the 25, and out to about the 32-yard line. That looked like Bryson Clark.
Yep.
With a return for Juniata.
Ryan, Corey, Andrew Finkel, and Jacob Wagner all in on the special teams tackle there. And, one of the keys tonight, Dave, I think, to the game is Huntington's secondary playing good, solid, disciplined football. Andrew Finkel, Drew Weglars, Jonathan Price, and Jarvis Warner are really going to have to play good, solid, disciplined football tonight, as Juniata likes to put men in motion and try to mix it up offensively.
Juniata moving from right to left here in the first quarter. And it's a handoff out of the shotgun, and it's a gain of about 2 yards. Wrapped up and wrestled to the ground is, was that Clark?
Yep.
Bryson Clark.
Yep.
So Clark on the carry, and Landon Fisher in on the stop. Is one of the guys, Chad, that I had a chance to talk to Coach Hootie about, and something that didn't make it to the pregame show. But one of the things that he said about Landon Fisher, which was kind of interesting, is the fact that Landon, he referred to him as a cerebral player.
Very true. Very true. He's a quiet leader type of guy.
Yeah, and he said he's a very coachable young man. He's like a sponge, always wanting to learn more. Here's a handoff, and it's going to be dropped for a loss. It's a quarterback keep, actually, as Jeremiah Parson is taken down. And that's going to be a loss of a couple, and that'll bring up a third down. We're going to call it 9, I guess.
Yeah, it's a loss of 2 on the play, and we saw Ben Briggs come right off of the end and meet Parson. That was a quarterback draw all the way, Dave. Parson stepped up into the pocket, but was met immediately by defensive end Ben Briggs and dropped for the 2-down loss to set up a third and long here situation for Juniata.
Third and long, and quarterback Jeremiah Parson comes up under center, man in motion to the left. Rolling left is Parson, now has some open space, throws, pass complete, first down Juniata, as he completes it to Bryson Clark. And it is an Indians first down.
Yeah, and a great job that time by Parson to roll out and find out the wide open running back coming out, and he was wide open. There wasn't anybody within 5-6 yards of him for that completion.
Juniata is dressed in their all-white uniform, tops and bottoms. Numbers are in red, trimmed in blue, and they also have a blue stripe up around the shoulder pads. The Bearcats in their home all-navy tops and bottoms with a big white stripe down the side of the pants and the red stripe inside of that. Numbers in the back on white, trimmed in red. Quarterback Parson with a carry. He gets out near midfield. He'll gain a couple, and that'll be a 2nd down and 8 for Juniata with 9:59 left to go here in the first quarter.
Little 2-yard quarterback draw that time, and then immediately tackled by sophomore or junior linebacker Ryan Corey, who's having a really good year for the Bearcats. He's the leading tackler on the team with 40 on the year. So Ryan Corey, a junior, having a really good, solid year and can move laterally just about as good as anybody out there on the field.
2nd down and 8. Indians football at midfield. Need to get down to the 42 of the Bearcats. Parson rolling to his right this time. Looks downfield, throws the pass. It is caught for a 1st down by Bryson Clark. And the coverage that time for the Bearcats from Andrew Finkel. And the gain goes for about 15 yards.
15 yards on that. And again, another beautiful rollout pass. And he actually had the tight end wide open if he was able to get it to him. Lawver was sprinting down by the 10-yard line. He had 2 steps on the defensive back. So options for Juniata here in the early going and a good drive.
Parson maybe couldn't see him. 5'9", $165. So some of those guys are pretty tall out there. There's a handoff, and it goes to Zach Piper. Piper gets down over the 25 and all the way down to the Bearcats 20 for another 15-yard gain and another Juniata 1st down, and something unusual for the Bearcats. And they have always been a team that's, if they won the toss, deferred, and they want to see their defense out there, and they're being taken to task early on here by Juniata.
They're just moving the ball at a very good clip. 3 plays of over or 15 yards or more. And a really good opening drive here by Juniata, which is exactly what they needed to do on their first drive of the night.
Shotgun. Parson takes a snap, rolls to his right, looks downfield. Nobody open. He's going to tuck and run. He's down to the 15, and he'll go out of bounds at about the 10. Should be good. Nope, they knock him out at about the 12-yard line. So it will be a 2nd down and a couple for Juniata. So far the Bearcats are being taken to task, and the defense is getting an eyeful of this Indians offense.
Yeah, which is something that, as you just, and all you can do is kind of look at stats and see that they weren't that impressive through 5 football games. But right now, Juniata looks as impressive an offense as what we've been able to see so far this year, Dave.
Well, a 70-point outburst is enough to get your confidence going. There's a handoff. They were looking for short yardage, and he bounced off Bryson Clark, bouncing off one Bearcat tackle and being able to move forward. Now, the Bearcats say he fumbled at the end of the carry. They were trying to say they had the football, but that's not the case. He gets down to just about 1st down yardage, but it's going to be 3rd down and less than a yard. Now the White Hat's going to take a look at that. Is he going to call the sticks in from the sideline? Yes, he's going to call timeout and measure, which he should.
I think he has to in that situation.
Absolutely.
And we've seen that a couple times, Dave, this year where they didn't, and we question, how are they figuring that out? You've got to make that call. Make the timeout, get it right, because it's that important, specifically when you're dealing with 2 teams here that have big playoff aspirations on their hands within District 6. Huntingdon coming in tonight leading the District 6 playoffs as the top seed right now with a 5-0 record, and then Juniata sitting in 4th place with a 4-1.
The Juniata Indians a 1st down.
So the Indians get another 1st down, an impressive drive so far, which started out at their own 32. They're now at the Huntingdon 10, and it's 8:59, I think, left to go here in the first quarter, as the Bearcats hosting Juniata on the big homecoming day. A lot of golf carts sitting around here for ferrying around the king and queen in their courts. Short pass, almost a lateral pass over to Bryce Leonard of Juniata. He gets down over the 10 to about the 9 and picks up a yard, 2nd down and goal.
Good open field tackle there by the safety, Andrew Finkel, as he came up and wrapped him right around his legs. He was able to sneak up and grab him. So good tackle that time by junior safety Finkel.
I think Juniata was trying to spread out the defense a little bit there with that basically almost lateral pass and see what kind of holes that would develop when they spread out the Bearcats, and there weren't really any holes there, at least on the left side. Parson takes the snap, rolls to his right at toss, and what defense! Well, I'll tell you, you can say a lot of things about Jonathan Price offensively, but do you have to tip your cap to him there as he batted that away from Ben Lauber for a short touchdown?
And that is Jonathan Price, 5'8", 145 pounds, covering a 6'3", 222-pound tight end in Ben Lauber. But the athleticism of Price is what makes up the difference there, as he's able to jump up and get a hand on that ball and knock it away.
Quick, as they had said from time to time, quick as a hiccup, because he looked back and acquired the fact that Parson was going to be throwing that way, looked back, jumped, tipped it away. And there's a flag before this play goes very far. We'll see if it's an offside against the...
Might be on Huntingdon. I saw some movement on the defensive line there, and we're going to see. Usually
That's
not.
a false
There we
start
go.
on
Good.
Juniata. Normally they go this way. On occasion, especially in high school football, it seems more often that is going to be a false start on the offense as opposed to the encroachment penalty. It happens.
As prone as Huntington has been to penalties, you can understand why there might be a little bit of
you got to spray them with a little penalty repellent game.
That'll back Juniata back to their 14-yard line on a 3rd and 14. There's no first down that can be obtained on this, so they've got to get a touchdown.
7:19 left to go. Parson in the shotgun, takes a snap, quick throw, gets it to that tight end, Ben Lauber. Lauber is eventually brought down by, 7 Bearcats? Who made the initial contact there?
It looked like Alex Mikan on the initial contact with that. But, yeah, it's going to take 7. That's a big boy to get down. As he caught the ball, forward progress is going to put him down to the 6. So it's an 8-yard catch, and we'll see what Juniata does here on 4th down. Going to bring out the field goal unit and try and go for it. If they do, Dave, I think that's a good win for Huntington as they were.
Oh, absolutely. They were taking chunks of yardage.
And it looks like Esch is out here, so we're going to get a field goal attempt.
So it is going to be a field goal attempt, or at least they're going to set up for that. Timeout called? Yes, a timeout is called by, I think, Juniata, and that is indeed the case. And that gives us a chance to talk to you about what is coming up on the airnetwork.net. Pitt Panthers trying to rebound against Rice tomorrow at Heinz Field. That'll be right here on the airnetwork.net. Pre-game about 11:30 tomorrow. Pitt Sports and the IMG Radio Network putting that broadcast together here on the Air Network and 94.1 FM in Huntingdon. Hey, is this something I would think Chad States would be a part of this. Huntingdon Moose Family Center 223 in the Halloween Parade, Monday, October 23rd.
I'm part of it. I'm part of watching it from Washington Street, where I'm set up. My daughter will be in the band in that thing, but I will be sitting on Washington Street with.
Do you ask to have candy thrown at you?
I don't have to, because my youngest daughter Emily stands out there with her hands out, and she's so darn cute that they just throw the candy to her, and then she eats it and she goes crazy and does what kids are supposed to do. So Juniata back out going for this now.
Yep, they decide to go for it rather than the field goal. Parson back to pass, looking to his left. Nothing's been open there all night. He tries for Lauber, and once again, Jonathan. Did he tip it?
He did. He tipped it and caught it.
And then Lauber caught it. Price was there for the defense, tipped it, and it came down into the hands of Ben Lauber. And Juniata strikes first in tonight's homecoming game here at War Vets Field. It is the Indians 6 and the Bearcats nothing.
Gutsy call that time by Juniata to go for it, specifically when Lauber wasn't necessarily covered, but he has that height advantage over Price. It didn't really matter because he caught it on the ground, but gutsy call that time by Juniata to get on the board with the touchdown with 6:28 left to go.
Sometimes luck is involved. Point after attempt is up. It's between the uprights and good.
The kick is good.
And it makes the score Juniata 7 and the Bearcats nothing. So the first drive for Juniata very productive, and it's going to be imperative that the Bearcats answer, and maybe even answer quickly, only from the standpoint of they want to establish their offensive prowess in tonight's football game. Chad will give you the recap on that drive with plays and everything, but we do want to remind you to be a part a Monday night sports talk. Are you going to be a part of it this week, Steve?
I have to look and see what the schedule is with the kids, so it's hard to tell.
Anyway, we get underway at 7 o'clock. Local, regional, and national sports. Be a part of the conversation. Give us a call at 814-506-0609. That's 814-506-0609. Call in, join the conversation. Jimmy Ty, me, Greg Banks, hopefully Chad States. And it's Monday night sports talk. Coming up Monday at 7 on the airnetwork.net and 94.1 FM in Huntingdon.
So that was a 12-play, 68-yard drive that was very time-consuming. Only 6:28 left on the clock here in the first quarter for Juniata with that completion to the big tight end, Ben Lawver. And, Dave, I said it on the onset. For Juniata to compete in this football game, Lawver has to be one of their big players. He's got 2 catches for 14 yards and a touchdown. So early on, it's proving to be that's what they need to do.
Line drive kickoff is scooped up at about the 20, out over the 30, up to the 40. Ian Border with a return out to the 42, a 22-yard return for Ian Border, and the Bearcats will start out 1st and 10 at their own 42.
Now, Huntingdon has to come out and not get too nervous right off of the bat, Dave. Yes, they're down 7-0 on the first drive from Juniata, but that doesn't mean anything. Take your time. Do what you do. Do what you've done all year long.
This is new for this team. They have not been behind at the beginning of a game all year.
Nope.
So let's see how they recover from that. Andrew Hootie in the shotgun. Ian Border to his left. Border goes out. It's a screen pass to Border. Up over the 45, the 50, and he gets almost to the first down sticks. We'll see exactly where they mark him. And obviously there's someone new over in the public address announcer's position because it's normally courtesy to let the play run out before you call everything. But everything's different nowadays. PA guys tend to be cheerleaders.
They do. It's a 9-yard pickup for...
I don't really buy into. Second down and a yard. Ian Border with 9 yards, as Chad said. This time he's lined up to the right of Andrew Hootie. The handoff goes to Border, and he has a first down and probably about a yard more as he gets down to about the 47 of the Juniata Indians. Bearcats first down.
That's a Bearcat first down.
So Huntington's first 2 plays, Border 2 touch, which is exactly what they need to do. And we'll see if they try to implement some speed here in this next series of downs. But a big first down for Huntington to get the confidence moving in that offense. Not that they, it helps.
Well,
being
and
down
also to
7-0.
prove in that case, Chad, that on a short yardage situation that they're able to get Border in there and get what they need to get a first down. As they needed a little less than a yard, they picked up about 2.5 yards on that carry, and now we have clock issues again, and everything slows down, grinds to a halt, now starts back up. That's the biggest problem we've had. We've had 1 penalty in the game, and that's been against Juniata. That was a false start on offense. Price in motion, going from right to left, and the flag comes in. Yes, it's my fault. Because of me, there is a flag that comes in against the Bearcats.
And I say if you're gonna do it right and make it obvious, and that's what Ben Briggs did on that time. He jumped off sides and he made it pretty obvious that he jumped off sides as he was clear across into the defensive line of Juniata that time. So that'll set Huntington back 5 yards. They'll be at a 1st and 15 back at their own 47-yard line.
By the way, I was talking about a parade, and there was a Bearcat Homecoming parade in downtown Huntingdon that preceded tonight's game. And don't forget about the one coming up October 23rd, Halloween time. Hootie back to pass, rolls it out here. Oh, just a little too far. Jacob Wagner. Well, I'll tell you what, about yard or 2 shorter, and Wagner's in the end zone because he had been well past his defender on that play and would have scored with no problem as Bryce Leonard. Is that Leonard?
That's Leonard,
yeah. Bryce Leonard was out there covering him, but he had him by a good 2.5 steps as it was.
Sure did.
And Andrew Hootie was under pressure when he let that go, so he may have let it go a little bit earlier than he would have liked to as the pocket was starting to come in around him. Hootie in the shotgun, man in motion is Wagner. And Hootie's back to pass, rolling to his right, looks downfield, in the middle of the field, dangerous pass, too tall for Jarris Warner. And that one is incomplete, and it brings up a 3rd down and 15, and it's rug cutting time, if you will, for the Bearcats. This is the first down they need. Juniata scored on their first possession tonight, lead the game 7-0, and the Bearcats need an answer here.
Yeah, because Huntingdon really didn't stop them on that first drive. Now, that doesn't mean that they're not going to on the second drive, but Juniata went methodically down the field on that 12-play, 68-yard drive, so Huntingdon needs to get something here, at least to flip the field position.
3rd down and 15. Wagner in motion. Back to pass is Hootie, looking to his right, and he's in trouble, and he's going to be sacked. Ben Lauber got in there, and Hootie tried to buy some time, and he did not accomplish what he set out to do. Lauber, a pretty good athlete. We saw him be a key part of that scoring drive by the Indians, and this time it's a sack of about 5 yards to set up basically a 4th and 20.
Yeah, and I mean, Lauber's a special athlete, Dave.
Lauber moving in for the block, peels off, and the punt is taken by Zach Piper. Piper does a little dance and makes a couple of moves and is down tonight on the turf. And he's down at the 33-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Indians. So good field position. It could have been better. Too much dancing that time by Piper.
Yeah, good punt that time by Hootie, too. 43 yards on the net for him. But, Dave, we've got to have it, it's early on, but we've got to get a stop here or a turnover or something, because Huntingdon didn't show on defense the last time that they could stop the Juniata offense. They came out and did exactly what they wanted to do. Yeah, did exactly what they wanted to do.
Shotgun for the Indians. Parson, the quarterback, quick pass. Basically almost a lateral, and it goes over to Bryce Leonard. And Leonard is dropped for a loss. It's great to have a completion, but, when it's negative yardage, you don't like it so much, and there's a penalty flag that comes in that'll wipe all that out, I think.
Yeah, it's a holding penalty against Juniata, so we'll see where they mark that from. If they mark it from the 30, which I think they will, we won't count the play, because the loss would put him at the 31, and this would be behind the line of scrimmage. So we'll see where they drop the ball. They drop it at the 20. Yep, they're going to drop it to 20, so it's a 12-yard penalty, and that's the way we'll record that. So that's their second penalty tonight.
So a 1st down and
Bigler.
Yeah, 1st down and Bigler. That's good. I like it.
Or, well, since the Warren game's coming up, 1st down and Warren, we can say that too. But
22 yards is what it amounts to. Parson, the quarterback, back to pass. Good rush, gets it away. Pass is complete to Bryson Clark. He's out over the 40, the 45 in midfield and into Bearcats territory. A good rush that time by Isaiah Reed, but he did not get there quickly enough. And to the credit of Parson, he was able to quickly get rid of the football and complete that pass to Leonard for a 1st down.
Yeah, absolutely, and they like to run.
Leonard, I'm sorry,
Clark, but they like to run screens. That's what this team likes to do, and that's another catch by Clark. That's his 3rd of the evening for 63 yards, and a big 1st down for Juniata as they get out of a big hole quickly.
Bearcats behind for the first time this season at 7-0, in danger of going down even further. Handoff goes to the running back Clark. Clark gets over the 45 and down to about the 42 of the Bearcats. Ryan Corey with the stop. It'll be a gain of 6 to bring up a 2nd down and 4 with the ball at the Bearcats 42.
Yep.
And Juniata up by a score of 7-0.
Already with 5 first downs on the night, Dave. So Juniata, again, just going down the field. Huntington's defense needs to take it back, quick breath, regroup collectively, and start to force its muscle here a little bit.
Here's quarterback keep that time. Parson is going to be dropped for no gain, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 4. And you hate to put a lot of emphasis on a particular play, but right now, this one is crucial for the Bearcats here on 3rd down and long to try to make sure that they are able to stop the Indians at this point. Thus far, they have not been able to. To the Indians' credit, they have been able to, they had their first extended drive, and they're on another one now that started at their own 32. They're at the Bearcats' 42, and a flag comes in as it's going to be a delay of game. 2:15 left to go here in the first quarter. And that'll be a 5-yard penalty and bring up a third down. And, well, that was a bit of an exorbitant delay of game penalty. Good Lord. It looks like that's a 5-yard penalty, by the way, folks. And the reason we're remarking about this is the actual yardage goes back to almost the 49-yard line from the 42. So a 5-yard penalty turned into a 7-yard penalty.
Big feet. Guy stepped off with big feet.
2:15 left to go. Bearcats trying to bring this drive to an end. Third down and 10. Rolling to his right is Parson, looking downfield, letting it go. Intercepted! It's Jonathan Price down the sideline. 30, 20, 10. Touchdown, but there is a flag that is down at the 44-yard line of Juniata. I think the interception is good, but there could have been a block in the back or a hold called against the Bearcats.
The interception will stand. Parson floated that ball over top of his fullback, Clark. He had him wide open. He just floated that ball too much, and Price able to step up and make the interception. That's going to stand. So it's going to be, let's see here.
Price does
about a 16-yard return for Price, and we'll see what the penalty is going to be. It is an illegal block.
So Price gets even for the excuse me reception in the end zone by Lauber. After he tipped the ball up in the air, Lauber came down with it for the Indians score in the game. And it's an illegal block against the... Oh, my! Wait a minute.
They're calling
that calls everything back. As a matter of fact, the interception will not count. And the white cap just said it's Juniata's football.
That surprises me because if it's after the play, I don't know why it would be Juniata's football.
Downfield, and the penalty against the Bearcats marked from the line of scrimmage takes it down to the 34 of the Bearcats.
It's a personal foul call. It's what it has to be.
And now Coach Hootie is out there.
As well, he should be. That play, that happens after the play, so I don't understand why the interception doesn't stand.
Yeah.
I can understand if it's a personal foul, and it happened. I mean, it happened after the interception, so the interception should stand.
Coach
Huntingdon would get 15 yards back from it, and that's it. But
let's see what happens here after the explanation is given to Coach Hootie.
This does not make sense to me at all. Why Huntingdon does not have the football?
Me neither.
And they're not going to get the football.
You can't call a personal foul before the play.
No, and I don't. I'm clueless. I am stumped.
The bottom line is, and Coach Hootie walks away and now heads back up. He was down to the Juniata end zone, which is to the right, as the Indians moving from right to left. It's going to be a quarterback keep by Parson. He's down over the 20 and brought down at the 19 with a touchdown saving tackle by Drew Weglars and Alex Mikett.
Yeah,
they'll mark him down right at the 20, so the gain is good for another first down. And once again, Juniata taking chunks of yardage here on plays. And I'll tell you what a redemption for Parson. You go from having an interception to having the ball back and...
From zero to hero in a matter of seconds, but I still don't understand the call. We're going to have to get some clarification on that, Dave.
Parson up under center this time, takes the snap, turns, quickly hands off. And the ball carrier's Ethan Grove. Grove down to the 5 and into the touch end zone for a touchdown as Juniata takes a 13-0 lead. And a little tomfoolery and some confusion in the background, and Ethan Grove, a 5'8", 171-pound junior, ends up getting the handoff from Jeremiah Parson. And that time they were able to string the Bearcats defense out. I think they were keying in, Chad, on Bryson Clark. And when the handoff didn't go to Clark, perhaps caught them off guard. and it led to a Juniata touchdown. So a 20-yard carry for Ethan Grove. Point after attempt is up, and it is good. Ethan Grove with the touchdown, and Chris Esch with the point after, and it's Juniata 14 and the Bearcats nothing.
Well, it is quickly gut check time for the Huntingdon Bearcats right now. You've got to shake off everything that's happened up to this point, although defensively, Dave, we've not seen them stop Juniata at all. We thought they did, but the referees kind of gave it back. We're just, like I said, we'll have to get some clarification on why that interception did not hold. It must have to do with it being a personal foul, and it just rejected everything. But regardless,
I don't understand how that happens.
I don't either, specifically after the play. I just don't get that. But regardless, Huntington's finding itself in a 14-0 hole, and now you're going to find out what's this team all about. How do they react being down this deep of a hole that they've not been down all year long?
It's going to be tough, and the team definitely needs to come back. As a matter of fact, the kick return team kind of tardy in getting back out on the field, and eventually they make their way out. By the way, help support the Bearcat football broadcast through the playoffs this season. The Cats poised to enter the second part of their season this year. We need your help, though, because of the confiscatory PIAA fees. If you're a business, individual, or organization that can help us keep the broadcast going through the playoffs, call Greg Banks weekdays 9 to 5 at 667-7195. Line drive kickoff is taken at the 20, and Wagner gets out over the 20, up over the 30, and is dropped at about the 32-yard line. The 32-yard line has been a popular one for both of these teams, except for the fact that Juniata has been able to take their possessions from the 32 and drive them all the way in for touchdowns.
Well, Huntington needs to get on the board here with something. 1 minute 17 left in the first quarter, but they've got to make this drive count. They've got to get points on the board and start to swing momentum back their way, because momentum is clearly on the Juniata Indian side.
Little to no doubt about that. Time to get Ian Border on a roll. See if we can. Andrew Hootie in the shotgun, and there's a flag on the play, and false start against the Bearcats. So in a critical drive in this football game, even though it's this early, it's a critical drive, and the Bearcats start off with a penalty.
Their third penalty for 25 yards, so they're halfway to where they normally are for the game at this point in time.
5-yard penalty makes it 1st and 15 for the Bearcats. The ball at their own 27. So let's see what happens again. I guess that spray that I took, the penalty, spray that I sprayed the team with didn't work. Handoff goes to Border, finds a hole. He's out over the 30, cuts it back, 35, and eventually a convergence of defenders for the Juniata Indians, including Jack Fry, I believe, was in on that, and also Wade Moore.
Good hard running that time by Borders. He had to break a couple tackles on an 11-yard gain. So
some patience that he shows.
Yes.
Patient runners are something you hear a lot about in today's football. And that was a patient run, and he sets him up with a second down and a short 5 or long 4. Border with the carry, gets out near the 45, and that, my friends, is good enough for a first down for the Cats.
And another good run that time by Borders. He's able to just muscle through. And he's, like you said, Dave, we know he's not going to be stopped. He's going to be a very hard back to bring down. But how much more of the offense can Huntington be put in? Because you can't give it to them every single down. They're going to have to come up with something a little bit more diversified here to figure out this Juniata defense.
So the Bearcats got a first down on their previous possession, but then the drive fell apart in a hurry. Got 21 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. Hand off the Border. He has room out over the 50, brought down. Nice trip up on the tackle by Carl Fowler. Fowler, number 85 of the Indians, but it's a good gain as Border picks up 8 on the carry to set up a second down and 2. It's going to be a short 2, and the clock has run out. That's the end of the first quarter, and the score is Juniata 14 and the Bearcats nothing We'll be back with more right after this on the airnetwork.net and 94.1 FM in Huntingdon. DC Goodman and Sons and the Goodman family are committed and dedicated to excellence by supporting quality education and athletics for all youth of Huntingdon County. For over 3 generations, DC Goodman and Sons and their staff of quality tradesmen have provided excellent service in the installation of plumbing, mechanical and industrial piping, electrical, and fire sprinkler systems. Residential services are also available. DC Goodman and Sons and the Goodman family will continue to serve the community, and thank you for your support. The Goodman family wishes you the best to all area students in your pursuit of excellence.
The Huntingdon Moose Family Center 223 is the heart of the community, and they've got loads of activities in October. The Moose proudly presents the Huntingdon Halloween Parade on Monday, October 23rd in downtown Huntingdon. Come on down with the entire family and enjoy the evening. Also in October, you can enjoy our Friday food specials beginning at 5 p.m. Then on Saturday, October 14th, it's Reboot from 8 to 11 p.m. There's always something happening at the Huntingdon Moose Family Center 223. So join us today.
Hi, this is Andrew Hootie. You're listening to the Huntingdon Bearcats on the airnetwork.net.
Andrew Hootie with a handoff to Ian Border as we get started in the second quarter, and he is dropped for about a 2-yard loss, depending on where they eventually spot it.
Also, Nathan Bond.
Yeah, it's about a 2-yard loss to set up a 3rd down and a short 4 for the Bearcats with the ball between the 48 and 49-yard line on the Juniata side of the field. And the Bearcats looking to get a drive beyond 1 first down.
First quarter, Juniata at 146 yards to Huntington's 31.
Hootie in the shotgun. Bit of a hush over the crowd here.
I think they're stunned.
They fake the handoff. Hootie keeps it, and he's going to be met at midfield and dropped for another couple-yard loss to set up a 4th down and 5.
33,
Ethan Diven with the stop for the Indians. And it is a 4th and 5 for the Bearcats. And
they're going to have
to punt.
I don't know what the hesitation was. They don't have a choice. They've got to punt, and they're going to put this in the hands of the Juniata offense again that they haven't stopped.
14-0. Indians with the lead.
Hootie is back to punt.
Snap. Andrew Hootie punts the ball away. Gets a good one off his foot. Zach Piper has to retreat back to about the 12-yard line. Up over the 15 and is brought down at the 19. What a great stop there with a great special team stop. Ben Briggs in on the stop. And they're, let's give Jarvis Warner some credit there, too.
Yeah, Jarvis Warner with a nice open field tackle that time of Piper's. He had to go back and catch that punt over his shoulder. Good 38-yard punt that time by Hootie. But again, I don't think it really matters where Juniata has the football at this point in time. They've been able to just, again, to use that word, methodically go down the field at will, hitting running backs coming out of the backfield, your tight end, your receivers, offsetting that with a run here and there. Just a good, diversified offense that the Bearcats are having trouble figuring out tonight.
Homecoming Friday night, a 14-0 Juniata lead over the Bearcats here at Huntingdon War Vets Field. Jeremiah Parson in the backfield in the shotgun. He's going to keep it. He's out over the 20 and quickly wrapped up by the Bearcat defense.
The keeper is tackled by Ryan Query.
Quarry with another stop as it's a gain of 2 for Parson and a 2nd down and 8. The Bearcats so far have been, I don't know if they've been necessarily lulled. It's, as Chad referred to it, it is a methodical offense. There's, this hasn't been highlighted by a lot of big plays. There have been their share of 15-yard gains over the course of the 2 possessions where they scored, but nothing that really sticks out at it. Parson back to pass, lets it go. He's hit as he throws, but he completes it to that big, tall guy out there, Ben Lauber, 6'3", 222. And not unlike in days gone by when the Steelers
down by Jarvis Warner again.
Had Heath Miller. I think Lauber's probably a little bit quicker than Heath was, but it kind of reminds you of Miller to a degree.
Yeah, and that's another first down. That's a 4th first down by passing. They're 9th in the evening, and Parson just put that up as a jump ball for Lauber, and he's able to catch that in the middle of the field. He's a big part of the offense, and Huntington's got to figure out a way. He's a big guy.
Yeah. Handoff this time goes to Zach Piper. Piper trying the left side, and he gets nowhere. Brought down quickly that time by Isaiah Reed.
And as big of a guy as what Lawver is, Piper's going to check in at 5'30", 135 pounds. He's going to go to the opposite end of the spectrum, but he's a quick little scat back.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, those guys can do some serious damage to you. In that particular case, he was only able to pick up, actually almost 3, which isn't so bad. It'll be a second down, and I'll call it 7. I'll be generous and give that to the Indians. It's Parson back to pass. He's going to throw a deep one. It's a wobbly pass, and Price almost with the interception. And Lauber wants interference called on that. If there were interference, he's saying face mask. And I didn't necessarily see that. The way I saw it from where we are in the press box, if there were to be a penalty called, it would have been on Lauber, and that would have been offensive interference against Price trying to intercept.
Yeah, Price did a good job of getting his head turned around and then being able to come back for the ball. I didn't see where his hands might have been if it was on his face mask, but you're right, Dave. Lauber was definitely using his hands to push off of Price and keep him away from that football. So if the flag did fly, it should have been on an offensive penalty.
8:53 left to go in the second quarter. 14-0 Juniata over the Bearcats. And a surprise to many here at Huntingdon War Vets Field. Under center this time is Parson. Parson rolls, and the pass is intercepted.
Well, he telegraphed that pass, Dave. They never looked off of Rank coming out and making that little banana peel for a route out there. He never looked off him. I don't think he saw Mike it. I don't know how you don't see him, but I don't think he ever saw Alex Mike it out there, and that's a huge interception for Huntington. That's got to make this count right now.
Oh, yeah, this has to result in 7. I'm not saying just points. This has to result in 7 because the Bearcats so far have just been unable to move the football beyond 1 first down in each of the 2 possessions they've had. Third possession here. Hootie in the shotgun, almost a jet sweep, but the handoff goes to Border. He tries to go over the right side, and he's met quickly by the Indians over there, and he'll just get back to the line of scrimmage for a second down and 10.
Yeah, and this is a good, stout Juniata defense. We were, I was remarking at the beginning of the broadcast that they like to pride themselves on their defense so far. They've done that this evening, holding this what has been a vaunted Huntington attack pretty much in check. Border 6 carries, 25 yards. Last week at this point in time, I think he had close to 206 carries. So good job so far by the Juniata Indians.
Second and 10. Border switches sides over to the right side of Andrew Hootie. Passes over to Price. Price gets loose and is near first down yardage, but I think he was taken out of bounds before he was able to gain that. Don't mark. Whoa! They marked him down.
Must have stepped out
really early.
Yeah, must have stepped out a lot sooner than what we thought.
Tough to tell. We're on the far side of the field from the side where Price went out of bounds, and it looked to me like he got it to about the 30, which would have set up a third down and 1. Instead, it's a third down and 4, or a long 3 if you want to call it that. But that's closer to 4 than it is to 3. It says 3rd and 3 in the scoreboard. 7:55 left to go. And no jet sweep. A handoff to Border straight up the gut. Gets down over the 30 and is going to be a little bit short of first down yardage.
Yep, and I think you're 4 down territory right now.
Absolutely.
I don't think you have the choice. I think you have to go for this.
That's going to bring up 4th down for the Bearcats.
It's going to be 4th and a short 1, but something that you would hope that the Bearcats would be able to get with Ian Border and the way he's been able to gain yardage. But as Chad's pointed out, this is a pretty stout Juniata defense so far here tonight, holding the Bearcats off the scoreboard. 14-0. Juniata with the lead. 7:18 left to go. Handoff does go to Border, and he does get the first down and a little bit more.
Looks like it's going to be good
as he's down to about the 27, maybe, say the 28 for right now. 28-yard line, 1st and 10. Needed 1 rather, and got 2.
Good tough run that time by Border. And he shows you he can do the dirty work, Dave. He can work on the inside if he needs to. He can float to the outside. He can do what's necessary, and that's a good big first down for Huntington to keep this drive moving.
1st and 10 at the 28 of the Indians. I formation this time with Border right behind. Hootie, and the handoff goes, nope, it's a and pass interference. Play action that time, and a pass thrown out for Alex Mikett. And Miller.
Yep, pass was intended for Miller, but what you can't do is you can't put your hand on the back of the receiver and then throw your hand out front.
Well, you can if you don't get caught.
If you don't get caught, but that time Jeremiah Parson got caught as not just one, but 2 or 3 flags flew on that.
That's one of the ones that you see a lot in the NFL because of the speed of the game. This, and I'm not saying that these two teams aren't athletic and don't play at a good pace. But the bottom line is, in this particular case, that it moves a little bit slower and gives the officials an opportunity. Boy, does that guy take big steps
he does.
when he marches off a penalty. He turned a 5-yard penalty into a 7-yarder earlier, and this time they marked the ball down to the 14-yard line, and the Bearcats in the red zone and trying to punch one in the end zone. They haven't yet. 14-0, Juniata with the lead. Snap to Hootie, and Hootie's going to keep it. He's going to go in untouched off the right side, and down on the ground is Ben Lauver, the guy that has been so damaging to the Bearcats. That time, I don't know if he lost his footing or what, but that's about the area of the hole where Andrew Hootie scooted through as the rains are falling now. A very light drizzle, I guess, is falling here at War Vets Field as Gio Scotcha comes in to make it, or at least try to make it, a 14-7 game with 6:48 left to go in the first half. Spots down, kicks up, kicks good, as Scotcha continues to be such a vital part of the offense. And you never like to give anybody an automatic, and I remember a point after that he missed in Belfont, but by and large, the kid's a darn good-looking kicker.
He's been what you called money all year long.
Absolutely.
Yep, without a doubt.
It is 14-7, Juniata with the lead. They'll get the kickoff, and you'll be able to hear this game again if you like to suffer punishment. Strap you to a chair and make you listen to the replay until your nose bleeds. Anyway, listen for rebroadcast of tonight's game between the Bearcats and the Indians throughout the week on the Air Network at 94.1 FM. You can also listen on our website's front page and under the podcast tab beginning on Saturday afternoons. We're expecting a replay of this game coming up at around 10 tonight, depending on, and we're looking good as far as that goes because we have been very efficient with time. 6:48 left to go here in the first half, and it's only 7:47 on a Friday evening. Now the drizzle is backed off, and it's just a little mist right now coming down on the field. Maybe that's what happened with Lauver, that he wasn't able to make the tackle. Don't know. I just know that Hootie went through there on a tear and made it to the end zone. 14-7. Scotcha set the kickoff. Approaches the ball. It's another line drive that's twisting side to side, taken at the 10-yard line by Ethan Grove. Grove over the 20. Now makes a good move and eludes a tackle, then turns it upfield and is brought down by Jacob Wagner, and the flag came in before that return came to an end.
I don't know if you saw how far that flag flew. It was about 30 yards from the back judge back here. So my guess is it's going to be something on Juniata at that point in time. But that referee has a hell of an arm, Dave.
He has the arm, and the other guy has the stride.
He's got a hell of an arm on that one, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's a block in the back against Juniata. And
that looks like a block in the back.
So they'll march this one back, and look out. There he is, taking those steps, baby.
And proudly.
A forced march back to the 15-yard line.
Very proudly. You know,
he almost seems like he, at one point in his life, he was a drum major somewhere.
And you know, as we've said before, that Huntingdon has sometimes kept teams in ball games because of penalties. Juniata's kind of doing that. That's 5 penalties for 47 yards here in the first half.
14-7, Juniata with the lead, and they get the football again. Bearcats played takeaway, that is, to end up scoring their 7, and a flag comes in. And it's a false start against Juniata, so they'll march back again, and let's see if 5 turns into 7 here. Nope. Oh, that one was easy. You're going from the one big white line to the other big white line. From the 15 back to the 10.
He is proud when he marks them off, though. No doubt about that.
Couple of scores to report in the second quarter. BG 21, Penn Cambria nothing. There is a collegiate football game going on. The Hurricanes of Miami leading Duke 14-3. That's in the second. Parson turns, hands off, and that's that little scat-back guy, Zach Piper. And Piper gets out to about the 15-yard line, so he gets the false start penalty yardage back and sets up a 2nd down and 10.
We keep harping on big possessions, but this is another big one here for Huntington to try to get a stop on Juniata and maybe get another score before the end of the half to be able to try and tie this thing up, as there's a nice breeze going now here at War Vets Field from left to right and kind of in favor of the Juniata offense at this point in time.
And now we get a pretty good gust as the flags on the grandstands on the opposite side of the field are starched out. There's a handoff that is met nicely by the Bearcats as Parson handed the ball off to Bryson Clark, I think.
Yep.
And Clark was brought down by Isaiah Reed.
Pretty much no gain at that point in time. But here's the play, Dave, that we really have to watch. This is where Juniata's been able to flare their backs out of the backfield, look for a screen to get set up here. I'm no Tony Romo, so I'm sure I'm dead wrong with everything I'm saying, but look for the screen coming out for the fullback Clark or him trying to hit the tight end, Parson trying to hit the tight end Lawver in this situation.
You almost have to give Clark a gain of 1 on that where they ended up placing the ball. Parson rolling to his right, lets it go. A wobbler downfield. Price knocks it down again. As that one wobbled, hung in the air, intended for Lawver, and Price wins the battle again.
When you play basketball, sometimes your skills of your other sports come into play, and that's exactly what we saw here out of Jonathan Price. We know he has speed. He can keep up with Lawver on that. The thing that he's lacking is height, so he had to basically jump up and act like he's swatting a basketball away, sort of like in a rejection type of situation. And Jonathan with a big pass defense that time for the Huntington Bearcats and a big stop on 3rd down, forcing Juniata to punt for the first time this evening.
From deep.
From deep.
The punter stands back there at the extra point marker, and he lets it go. Carl Fowler, I believe, goes past Price. He picks it up at the 32, backpedals, looks for some blockers, doesn't have any, gets back to where he basically fielded the football, maybe a little bit more, as he may end up with a 1-yard return, and he put a lot more yards on his legs than he ended up in moving the ball forward, but that's okay. He went back, he got the ball. And right now, a little bit of a tough time out there, too, because these gusty winds that came through here just over the last 3 or 4 minutes basically starch out. I'll tell you what, I'm looking at the far flag over here, and it's sticking straight out off of that flagpole.
So Huntington offense will be throwing into that wind, probably about 10 to 12 miles an hour, moving left to right, and Huntington offense will be throwing into it.
Hootie in the shotgun, back to pass, lets it go, completes it to Price at the 40. He gets over midfield. He could go all the ways down to the 20, the 10, the 5. Jonathan Price, touchdown. Bearcats make it 14-13. One play.
68 yards, one play. And that's what the Huntington offense can do. They can hit you with big plays. And I'm sure Juniata coming in tonight said that's what we have to stop. Make them drive the football, keep away the big play. But that time, beautiful catch by Jonathan Price on a slant pass that time by Hootie. Hootie put it right where he had to, right into Jonathan Price's hands. And Price has what you call yak yards, and that's just yards after catch, and did a great job there, catching the ball and then running and then just out-distancing them.
Point after attempt by Scotcha is a knuckleball that's no good. He pulled it that time. So it is 14-13, a 1-point game. I think the other thing that gets lost there a little bit, Chad, is Price he was tackled at about the 45-yard line, and he was able to pull away from that tackle, and he had one defender in pursuit, and he hit that Jonathan Price extra gear and was long gone for the touchdown. But what released him was his own ability to get out of that tackle at about the Bearcats 45 and take it all the way for the score. And he's close to a record. Let's see, he was 9 receptions away coming into last week.
So he's got 2 tonight, and he's about 260-some yards short of the receiving record, and he's got 74 this evening. So he's got a little bit of work to do yet to be able to get that. But
the season, it's within reach.
The season, it's within reach, and a big score that time by Huntingdon. But you hope that the extra point does not loom large in this game as Scotcha comes up empty-handed on this.
By the way, thanks to the Huntingdon Moose Family Center 223, the heart of the community, D.C. Goodman and Sons and the Goodman family, Simone Chiropractic and Weight Loss Center in downtown Huntingdon, Austin Smith Heating and Plumbing of Huntingdon, All-American Pizza and Subs downtown Huntingdon, and Penswoods.net, the home of the free classified ads. They are the Bearcat broadcast boosters, and we want to thank them again for their support to bring you the games here on the Air Network and 94.1 FM in Huntingdon. Scotcha approaches the ball, kicks it away, a good high end over end, and you know what? It's an offside. It is going to be an offside against the Bearcats. This happened on special teams a week ago. And maybe something...
We're seeing some cheerleaders with some good arms here. They're throwing footballs from the sidelines and almost getting us up here in the scorebook.
Yeah, that one was close.
Yeah, that was a good arm. I was wondering what was flying up and hitting the press box.
Yeah, it's windy out there, but it's not like it's blowing flying squirrels into the booth. So
not that windy.
This brings back not necessarily so fond of memories of baseball season. And in Jamestown, nearly lost 2 pieces of gear and a portion of my head on a foul that came back into the broadcast booth there. Yeah, you always got to be alert. Oh, there goes. Oh!
Wow.
I think they've made a game. These cheerleaders have made a game out of getting it in the slot.
We might get injured.
That we
might have to call the athletic trainer up for us because we got hit by a plastic football.
5-yard penalty on the offside. Now a just short end-over-end kick that's fielded at the 25. Out over the 40 to about the 42-yard lines. Ethan Grove
down by Edwards again on the
with the return for Juniata.
And good field position here for Juniata, too. So with 4:45 left on the clock, plenty of time for them to get their offense back in gear here and see what they can get going. But, you know, you've got to start to see the Huntingdon defense figure out this Juniata offense.
Well, they did last series,
yeah.
You know, for the first time tonight. So let's see if that carries over into this one. Handoff goes to Ethan Grove. Grove is stopped behind the line of scrimmage.
Down in the backfield by Ryan Quirk.
And that'll be about a 2-yard loss.
Ryan Corey, Andrew Finkel, and Alex Mikett in on that stop as Corey looked like he almost just kind of hit his offensive lineman and kind of fell down at that point in time. But 2-yard loss for him. And
back at, it's close to the 40-yard line, and that's where we'll call it 2nd down and 12. And if you can shut the running game down, 3 in the backfield this time. Back to pass as Parsons lets it go down the sideline and stepping in front and almost intercepting Jarris Warner with some good defense again for the Bearcats on that pass pattern.
These corners are playing exceptionally well.
Yes,
that's
they
2
are.
pass defenses by Price, and almost a third one as Lawver caught that ball on his back in the end zone, but that ball was batted away, and then a great effort there by Jarris Warner to track down that ball and then bat it away from the receiver that time. So some great defensive back play here by the Huntingdon Bearcats in the early going is setting up a 3rd and long situation for Juniata.
Stop the clock at 4:03, 14-13, Juniata leads. Back to pass, Parson lets it go. It's complete to Zach Piper coming over to the near side of the field, and the Bearcats are having nothing to do with that as Drew Weglars ends up forcing him out of bounds, and that'll be a no gain, and it brings up a 4th down and 12 for the Indians. Good defensive series, and back-to-back really staunch defensive series by the Bearcats.
Absolutely, and that time Mr. Piper saw Jonathan Price come up and make the initial hit, and then he was finished off by Ian Border and Drew Weglars here on the sidelines, an old-fashioned way, as he was getting up a little bit slow that time.
Kicking with the wind at his back this time for Juniata. It's blocked.
Alex Mikett
It's rolling down around the 12-yard line. Bearcats ball, 1st and 10, as Mikett gets in to make the block of the punt. And the Bearcats are right back in business. It looks like they'll give him an extra yard and mark him down at the 11. So the Bearcats can get a first down without getting a touchdown. The wind, remarkably, decided to die down there right about as that punt was about to go. But when you got somebody flying in your face like that and blocking your punt, doesn't matter which way the wind's blowing.
What a turn of events here at War Vets Field if Huntington's able to punch this in for a score.
14-13, Juniata with the lead. Hootie, with a low snap, is able to recover and hand it off to Border, who gets about a yard on the carry down to about the 10 before he's stacked up there in the middle of the field by the Juniata defense.
And we got a penalty flag on the play, but let's go back to the punt block as Alex Mikett came free off of that right end, completely free. And with that big frame that he has, Alex Mikett checking in at 6'3", 210 pounds, but long arms, and just stretched out and blocked that ball all the way down to the 11-yard line. So an absolutely outstanding athletic play by Alex Mikett, as that's going to be marked off against Juniata, a 5-yard penalty.
Puts the ball at the 6 to set up a 1st down and 5 for the Bearcats.
7 penalties, 57 yards for Juniata on the evening.
Banana bunch 3 wide to the right. Instead, it's a handoff, and there goes Ian Border. 6 yards for a Bearcat touchdown, and the Bearcats have the lead for the first time tonight, 19-14.
Dave, that hole was wide open. You and I could have got through that one, but you know, you're starting to see momentum swing away from the first quarter all the way back over here to the Huntington side. Exactly what you want to see going into halftime. But good resiliency. We said it was gut check time for Huntington. We were going to see what this team was made of, and they've come back from that 14-0 deficit to a 19-14 lead. We'll see what happens with the 2-point conversion here.
Scotcha missing the kick the last time. They'll go for 2 here. Handoff goes to Border. He's in. Someone had a shoelace of Ian Border, but that's not nearly enough to bring him down as he walks in almost unmolested into the end zone to make it Bearcats 21, Juniata 14. A big turn of events, but here's the thing. There's 3:31 left in the first half, and that's time enough for Juniata to maybe put something together and take away whatever momentum Huntington has. If the Bearcats can get the ball back and, you know, at least ride the quarter out, if not score more, the Bearcats get the football to start the second half.
Yeah, it's a great point, Dave. You know, another big stop here by Huntington, but you can see, look down here on the sidelines. This team is pumped up. This is not the same team we saw at the end of the first quarter. They dug deep. They found a way to not only get back into this ball game before the end of the half, but to take the lead with 3:31 left to go. So lots of good energy down here on the Bearcat sidelines, and it's transferring out into the field as Juniata's now got to be scratching their head saying, hey, what can we do next? We needed that defense to come up with some big plays, and boy, have they ever over the course of the last 3 series.
Gio Scotch is going to be kicking. Well, this wind's kind of swirling now. It is a pretty stiff wind out there, as now it's moving across the field. And this is the stuff that if you happen to watch, and after a certain point, why would you? But the Packers-Bears game last night, this is that weather system that brought the lightning into that game and caused about almost an hour delay in that football game last night. It's in Huntingdon right now. Scotcha kicks it away, a low line drive picked up at the 15, out over the 25, and is met and taken down by Derek Foltz.
And Anthony Edwards, too. 2 special teams players that have been playing well all year long on that unit. Edwards, a senior, and Foltz, a sophomore, come up with a big stop that time as they really limit the kick return out to about the 32-yard line.
Foltz was something you should have enjoyed there because that was a nice takedown move there. Yeah. He just wrapped him up around the shoulders. There was a takedown.
He is a wrestler, and he was an outstanding catcher for me playing baseball this year. So he's a really tough kid. Brings a lot to the table.
Yes. Anyone that dons the tools of ignorance in baseball is a tough guy. And this is a quarterback keep by Parson. Parson will get out to about the 34-yard line, give him a gain of 2 and a second down and 8. And the Bearcats trying to improve on their defensive stands of the last two Juniata possessions, which resulted in Bearcat points.
Yep. Border out 9 carries, 36 yards in that touchdown. And then Andrew Hootie is 3 of 5 for 83 yards, and that one big touchdown to Jonathan Price, 2 catches, 74 yards so far here in the first half for the Bearcats.
2:54 left to go in this first half. 21-14 Bearcats with the lead. And it's a handoff to the little guy, Zach Piper, and Piper is brought down after he gets over the 35-yard line to about the 37 as Weglars comes in for the stop.
That was a nice big forearm shiver that time by Alex Micah, too, is having himself quite a night out there on the right defensive end position. But if you saw Piper hit that hole and then kind of did a little bit of a spin in there, that spin was a little bit more pronounced because Mike had stuck up his big right arm and kind of gave him a little jolt there.
Everybody gets to see the WWE every now and then. Here's a pitch back, and the ball is carried out over the 40, and it's going to be short of first down yardage as Ethan Grove, the ball carrier. And let's see where they do mark him down. Just over the 40, so they need to get the 41 plus in order to get the first down, and a timeout is called by the Bearcats. Boy, this is a big one here.
It is, and it's an interesting decision for Juniata too, because you're kind of in the, you're beyond the 40-yard line. You just went down by a touchdown here after being up 14-0. It's raining again, so this is an interesting decision on whether they decide to go for it or not.
A punt's always an adventure in the rain.
It is.
Especially at this level.
And we've got a wind that's blowing back. So, the thing is, if Juniata decides to go for it and not get it, they've set Huntingdon up in great field position right here that they've not been able to stop the Huntingdon offense the last 3 possessions.
As Juniata moving from left to right here in the second quarter, but the wind is going to be at the back of the potential kicker. Yep. And timeout just about over.
It's like they're sticking with their offense potentially here. And they're going to try and go for it.
Football tomorrow with the pregame at 11:30. They're hosting Rice at Heinz Field, and you'll be able to catch it here on the airnetwork.net and also 94.1 FM in Huntingdon. And this is a little bit stiffer a rain that is coming down now. It's gone beyond drizzle to a wind-driven rain. Handoff, it could be that
I don't think he got this.
R.J. Becker is going to be stopped short.
The line judge came right in, and I believe he is a football short for sure. I don't even think you need to measure this. I think he's a football short for it. Now, they're going to.
They're going to measure. You have to.
But I think that this ball is short.
I think it's short, too. But you do have to measure because this is
absolutely.
a big.
You're no doubt.
A big point in the game.
You don't want to leave it up for judgment, no doubt about that. But all intents and purposes is Juniata, from what it looks like to us, Juniata did not get this first down.
Ball placed down at the far hash, and on the far sidelines is where the sticks are, and they begin their short trek in to measure this one up to see if Juniata was able to get a first down. Stretching the chains, and the Bearcats have held. Stop. They take over on downs, 1st and 10 at Juniata's 41.
And that's a huge stop here at the end of the second quarter, minute 56 left to go, giving Huntingdon the ball, again, with the opportunity to be able to do something with it. And if Huntington's able to put a score on the board and totally reverse this thing to a 14-point lead of their own, Dave,
that's serious momentum, and they get the football
and
to
they
start
get the football back
half,
to start the second half. That's right.
It's just gigantic. That was a big
defensive
series.
What they've been able to do so far to crawl back into this game has been huge.
And a minute 56 to get it into the end zone. We've seen them get it in faster, and the wet football causes a problem. Fumble, and it's loose on the field. They still don't have it covered. Juniata may have picked it up.
This one's going to be close. There was a Huntingdon player close by, but then he kind of scooted over top of it. I think Juniata's going to come home with this football.
Juniata's saying they haven't, so are the officials as they recover at the Bearcats' 46-yard line, roughly.
And that ball was a low snap that time.
Yeah, which normally is okay, but in light of the weather conditions right now, just a little bit tougher to get a hold of that one. And so the Bearcats turn it over. And that's a big one for Juniata. A minute 45, trailing by 7. Bearcats up 21-14. It is Homecoming Friday, and we're going to bring you the homecoming festivities here at halftime. Back to pack is Parson. Parson rolls to his right, lets it go downfield, intended for Lauber, and really just kind of throwing it out of bounds. Because if it'd be me, I'd have it in the back of my mind. Anytime you see number 2, Jonathan Price, on that guy, even though there's that dramatic disparity in height between Price and Lauber, I'm probably trying to throw it away from him at this point.
Well, it is tough. It's juicy looking is what it is. I mean, he's a big tight end, and you've got a little cornerback out there. Jonathan makes up with it with his athleticism, but that's a big disparity in height. So it's almost practically a jump ball every time that ball goes up.
Parsons back to pass out of the shotgun, lets it go down the far sideline, and it's tipped away by Warner. Jarris Warner and Jonathan Price. What a shutdown defense on the pass plays for the Bearcats. Impressive.
Yeah, absolutely impressive. This has been the best cornerback play we've seen all night or all season long, and it's been absolutely needed as this wind is. Look at this rain.
The rain is much more intense.
It's swirling as the wind has reversed itself now. Dave is going back now, blowing into the face of Juniata, moving from right to left instead of left to right.
Yeah, it is. It's almost like a big stadium swirl because this stadium is not going to force the wind into doing anything here.
No, we're wide open in the middle of a field to a certain degree.
And a flag in the play and a false start by Juniata. So not a good thing. Sets up a 3rd down and 15 as Big Feet gets out there, and he ends up, look at where, now I'm telling you, Chad, that's 6 yards back.
Well, benefits us, but you're right, it is, but that's...
it's a 5-yard penalty, and the ball was at the original line of scrimmage, so even though it's 3rd and 15, it's more like 3rd and 16 with 1:31 left in the first half. Man in motion, no flag, and now a flag comes in as a pass is completed from Parson to Clark, and he's brought down immediately.
Got an illegal shift that time by Juniata, just waiting to see the flags come out. That is their 9th penalty for 67 yards in the first half. So Juniata really putting it to themselves here in the penalty department. They are really struggling.
This is one of those where you got to feel a little bit for the cheerleaders down there because, they have some activity going on and they're working a lot during a football game, but right now they're getting soaked because this rain has picked up. Greg Banks reporting that Don Vito reported heavy rain in Johnstown that was headed our way about 20 minutes ago, and this is probably what Don had experienced over there. And after the penalty is assessed to bring up a 4th down and Raystown Lake, that they're going to be punting the ball away. This is a no-choicer here.
Yes.
As far as what you're going to do with a football. And with a minute 20 left to go here in the first half, that's enough time for the Bearcats to do something. Now, they also have to remember that it looked like they were in real good position there, and the first snap of their last possession resulted in a fumble. And the conditions on the field have not improved.
No.
Since they were out there offensively.
I think they've gotten worse, and what you have to be sure of here is you've got sure hands out of your punt returner. You don't want to get this ball on and have it on the ground and have it slip through your hands. You've got to secure this puppy and take care of it. This is going to be hard for Jonathan to field. Again, here comes the wind again, and it's moving from right to left, but you just never know when it's going to start moving back the other way.
Everything's set up. Good snap. Good hold, brings it down, but a horrible pop-up punt that hits at the Bearcats' 44. Bounces a couple of times, then tries to go back in the Bearcats' favor, eventually down at the 41-yard line. So if you look at the battle of field position, the Bearcats didn't make out too badly.
That's a 16-yard punt. So, no, you got to like that with 1:18 left on the clock and good field position and not having to handle that football, Dave. You got to look at that thing. So, good field position here for Huntingdon. 1:18 left to go and a 21-14 lead for the Bearcats.
This will certainly dampen the mood of the celebrants of homecoming. We will carry that for you live here on the airnetwork.net coming up. Man in motion is Jacob Wagner. And
Wagner with the
that
ball.
was a jet sweep. Wagner taking the ball, turns it upfield, and actually ends up losing. Yep, we're going to call that a no gain.
Yeah, right at the line of scrimmage. That's the first jet sweep we've seen tonight. Usually it's Jonathan Price running those. Jacob Wagner every bit as fast.
Under a minute now left to go in the first half. Hootie with a quick pass over to Price, catches it at the 38, over the 40, 45, spins, and goes down.
Well,
something that happens when you do a spin move and you've got a lot of moisture on the field, you just can't get your footing, because he was at that point where he was about to plant his feet and go back toward the middle of the field as the Bearcats called timeout.
Well, I want to start about, speaking of planting, we've talked about wide receivers and how well they've blocked for Huntingdon. Jarris Price put number 31, Ethan Grove, on the ground with a punishing block that time, just as Price caught that ball and went to turn up. Jonathan had to beat one defender, wasn't able to do that, but Jarris Warner having quite the night, but a punishing block. And that's what it takes, Dave, to have great offense, is for all your players to buy in. Your wide receivers have to block. Your running backs have to do different things whenever they're not involved with the play. And we've seen Huntingdon do that throughout the year. So good job that time by Price with the reception, but another outstanding job by Jarris Warner.
Halftime score, Bishop Guilfoyle 35, Penn Cambrian nothing. Understand there's heavy rain at Penn Cambrian now as it backs off here at Ward Vets Field in Huntingdon. Hootie lifted his leg and almost drew the Indians offside. Hands off. Here's Border over the 50, the 45, and he was at a position where he needed to plant his feet and make a move. And when he went to plant, because of the wet turf, he goes down. Still plenty for a Bearcats first down at Juniata's 41.
44 yards now on the ground for
And Hootie comes up under center and spikes the football. They do have one timeout left before this half comes to an end. 32 seconds left in it, and as I talked about the rain backing off, it has picked up with a vengeance, and it's really coming straight down now, as it seems the wind has been taken out of the equation for the time being.
Test out my soccer parka that I got this year, the Bearcat soccer parka that I made sure that I vehemently put a lot of rain repellent on it over the weekend. So we're going to see if it works here. We're going to see if it repels.
Hootie in the shotgun, takes a snap, back to pass, over the middle, and it's caught by Wagner. Jacob Wagner with a catch at about the 30-yard line. Good for a Bearcats first down, and it's hurry-up time. Clock stopping for the movement of the chains. They have them down, and it's rolling now. 23 seconds left to go. Hootie with a snap, hands off the Border. Border down over the 30, trying to get to the sidelines. At this point, he's not going to make it, and a flag came in. Clock stops. It's at 10. It could have been back at 12, and it's a hold on the Bearcats. Basically, they're going to be left with one play to try to get points here. We'll see if they put any time back in the clock or not.
This should be a 12-yard penalty, but we're going to see how far. He should mark about 10 yards from here. It's about 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. And
see where it ends up as the high-stepping umpire makes his way back. And it's actually
pretty close.
Yeah, very good.
We're going to give him some props on that one.
Good marks.
So now 10 seconds left to go, Dave. Huntington's got to take some shots or he's going to clock the ball. Is Andrew Hootie, but he's going to have to try and take some shots here with some wide receivers deep.
I think he's going to have one shot at this with 7 seconds.
Either that or you just hand off the ball and go in at halftime with a 21-14 lead. Take a knee and just go in and...
I'm a riverboat gambler. I'm going for something.
Honestly, I don't see a reason why you shouldn't be able to make that throw down the field and see what you got. Andrew has a big enough arm to make that throw. There's no doubt about it. He's very athletic. He's got a cannon of a right arm to make it. It's just whether or not a receiver can get down there in enough time with the coverage breaking down here and the defensive lineman able to get on him before he can make the throw.
21-14, Bearcats lead. Final play of the first half, probably. Hootie, back to pass. Big rush from Juniata, and he goes down at about the 48, and that will do it for the first half. And certainly one that had the Bearcats on the edge as they trailed at one point 14-0, and they have come back to take the lead At the half, Bearcats 21, Juniata 14. We'll take a timeout here and be back with a little bit of a discussion about the first half activities. We'll do that and bring you as the rains die down, maybe just in time for the Queen and her court to get out there. We'll talk about that coming up. First, this time out, you're listening to the airnetwork.net and 94.1 FM in Huntingdon.
Call Austin Smith Heating and Plumbing for affordable heating, plumbing, and drain cleaning services in Huntingdon. Count on 12 years of ensured excellent service when it comes to heating, plumbing, ventilation, and drain cleaning. Call Austin Smith Heating and Plumbing, available evenings and weekends at an affordable rate. Call 814-506-5128. That's 506-5128 for Austin Smith Heating and Plumbing in Huntingdon.
All-American Pizza and Subs in downtown Huntingdon at 612 Washington Street is the home of the new Bearcat Sub. Enjoy mozzarella cheese with bacon, crispy chicken, sour cream and chive fries, and our top-selling wing flavor, Mactown Gold, all wrapped on a fresh homemade roll. Try the Bearcat plus our many other great pizzas and subs at All-American Pizza and Subs. Don't forget their new Pepsi flavor shots, too. All-American Pizza and Subs will donate $1 for every pizza sold during October, with proceeds going toward breast cancer research. Call 643-0222 for delivery. Open till 9, closed Mondays.
Sometimes facts are hard to face. Statistics show that obesity is a problem in the United States, and it's not getting any better. At Simone Family Chiropractic, we understand this problem. We also know that obesity leads to very serious health problems later in life. There is a way to cleanse your body and get back to optimum health. It is called the Doctor-Supervised Chirothin System, and it teaches you how and what to eat in the real world. Call us at Simone Family Chiropractic at 814-643-2616, or stop in and see us at 613 Washington Street in Huntingdon, across from All American Pizza, or find us on Facebook.
Penswood.net Classifieds offers the freshest, most recent classified ads available with over 1,500 new ads each day. If you're looking for a reliable used vehicle, check out the multiple ads daily on Penswood.net Classifieds. From cars, trucks, RVs, and motorcycles, you can scan the ads at Penswood.net at any time of the day or night and find something that fits your needs. Looking for household items, student housing, or even a new pet? Penswood.net Classifieds has it. Penswood.net, where you can buy, sell, or trade locally.
I'm Owen Kaufman. You're listening to Huntington Bearcats on the airnetwork.net.
Thank you, young man. We are back at Huntingdon War Vets Field in Huntingdon. It is halftime of the game between the Bearcats and Juniata, and a little comeuppance for the Bearcats, but to their credit, they did respond and come back and get control of this game to lead 21-14 at the half. Now, we had intended on bringing you the activities at halftime when it comes to the homecoming, but first, we are going to, there's the first part of the halftime is going to be a little bit of a band music. And Chad's working on the stats here, so he doesn't have a whole lot to say.
No, we're good to go, though. If we want to go ahead, you can listen to the band in the background. But basically, we're looking at a dead even half. Huntingdon with 33 yards rushing on the ground. Juniata with 55. Huntingdon with 100 yards passing, and Juniata with 72. So Huntingdon with 133 total yards, 133 yards of total offense, and Juniata with 127. And really, Dave, it's been the tale of two quarters. Juniata in the first quarter and Huntingdon in the second. Borders leading the ground game for Huntingdon with 10 carries, 44 yards, and 1 touchdown. And then Andrew Hootie being really efficient through the air, 5 of 9, 100 yards and 1 touchdown. A touchdown going to Jonathan Price, 3 catches for 80 yards. On the flip side, Jeremiah Parsons, the leading ground gainer for the Indians, 7 rushes for 28 yards, but also is 8 of 15 for 72 yards, 1 touchdown, and then 1 interception. So, Dave, as we look at these halftime statistics, they are dead even. With the great job the Huntington band is doing here in the background, they are dead even, but Huntington out to that 21-14 score. And you want to point to mistakes. You can't have 9 penalties for 67 yards in the first half like Juniata did.
Yeah.
Also, 1 interception so 1 turnover apiece for each one of the teams. But the penalty bug is really what normally bites Huntington is really biting Juniata.
Well, they get to try out their rainwear. through the Bearcat band members, and hopefully that's working out okay. Chad, you can give us a full update on that coming up next week. The rain is still coming down at a reasonably good clip at this point. It's been a come and go kind of thing, and right now it's back to that. I guess you could call it a little bit above a heavy drizzle at this particular point in the game, but the weather has become a factor in this game. There's no doubt. The one fumble by Hootie, was right after the rain had picked up. It was a snap, and he just never got the handle on it. But the good news was for Huntingdon that the Indians were unable to do anything with that particular turnover. But you could see then at the end of the first half here, as the Bearcats were trying to make something happen offensively, you could see the ability of the runners that we have, and even the receivers with Price and Ian Border both being unable to make the cuts they wanted to make because they planted their feet, and just the wetness on the grass just caused them to slip and go down.
The good thing about what we just saw, Dave, with Huntington being able to make that comeback and take the lead at 21-14 is they do get the ball to begin the half. So that does mean that you can come out and do what you do best, and that is run the football right off the bat in your opening series, as opposed to looking at a 14-0 hole and then having to come out and try and throw or do something different than you normally did. Huntington can stick to the same offensive game plan that they want to do, and that is get the ball into the hands of Big 44 and let him roll up and do some damage.
Well, I'll tell you, the other guy who's been inspired tonight is Price on both sides of the football. We'll see if Jonathan can keep that going here in the second half. We're going to go out and catch some of the Bearcat band during halftime of the homecoming game here at Huntingdon War Vets Field. 21-14, Bearcats lead at the half, and we'll let you listen to the Bearcat band here on the airnetwork.net and 94.1 FM in Huntingdon.
I'd like to welcome you to the 2017 homecoming ceremony for the Huntingdon Area High School. Student Council would like to thank everyone for their support and cooperation in homecoming festivities this week. And now the moment you've been waiting for, the crowning of the homecoming queen. The Huntingdon Area High School's homecoming queen for 2017 is Heather Gottschall. Congratulations, Heather, and everyone in the homecoming court.
All right. There you have it. We found out who the homecoming queen is. Congratulations to Heather Gutschall for being the 2017 homecoming queen here at Huntingdon High School. And I have no idea what he's doing, so I'm turning him down. What we are going to do here is take a quick commercial timeout and be back to recap a little bit of what went on here and also talk about what's coming up for the Bearcats in the second half. Back in about 2, you're listening to Bearcat Football on the airnetwork.net and 94.1 FM in Huntingdon. D.C. Goodman and Sons and the Goodman family are committed and dedicated to excellence by supporting quality education and athletics for all youth of Huntingdon County. For over 3 generations, D.C. Goodman and Sons and their staff of quality tradesmen have provided excellent service in the installation of plumbing, mechanical and industrial piping, electrical, and fire sprinkler systems. Residential services are also available. D.C. Goodman and Sons and the Goodman family will continue to serve the community, and thank you for your support. The Goodman family wishes you the best to all area students in your pursuit of excellence.
Penswood.net Classifieds offers the freshest, most recent classified ads available with over 1,500 new ads each day. If you're looking for a reliable used vehicle, check out the multiple ads daily on Penswood.net Classifieds. From cars, trucks, RVs, and motorcycles, you can scan the ads at Penswood.net at any time of the day or night and find something that fits your needs. Looking for household items, student housing, or even a new pet? Penswood.net Classifieds has it. Penswood.net, where you can buy, sell, or trade locally.
Sometimes facts are hard to face. Statistics show that obesity is a problem in the United States, and it's not getting any better. At Simone Family Chiropractic, we understand this problem. We also know that obesity leads to very serious health problems later in life. There is a way to cleanse your body and get back to optimum health. It is called the Doctor-Supervised Chirothin System, and it teaches you how and what to eat in the real world. Call us at Simone Family Chiropractic at 814-643-2616, or stop in and see us at 613 Washington Street in Huntingdon, across from All American Pizza, or find us on Facebook.
The Huntingdon Moose Family Center 223 is the heart of the community, and they've got loads of activities in October. The Moose proudly presents the Huntingdon Halloween Parade on Monday, October 23rd in downtown Huntingdon. Come on down with the entire family and enjoy the evening. Also in October, you can enjoy our Friday food specials beginning at 5 p.m. Then on Saturday, October 14th, it's Reboot from 8 to 11 p.m. There's always something happening at the Huntingdon Moose Family Center 223. So join us today.
This is Ian Board. You're listening to Bearcat Football on the airnetwork.net.
Well, it's nice of Ian to take the burden of having the football team on his shoulders to give us a welcome back to tonight's game. And Ian does carry a lot of the offense on this team, but it is indeed a team, and tonight it's been on display. And probably in the biggest way that I can think possible, it's on both sides of the football. Jonathan Price has emerged as the star of tonight's game, both offensively and defensively. And also on defense, I don't want to sell Jarris Warner short either. He has done an excellent job, because on the near side of the field there in the second quarter, as Juniata was trying to even this thing up before halftime, Price had so many stops on the right side of the field, and Warner had 2 huge ones on the left side of the field. 2 really good efforts by those guys, and of course Price adding in the offensive power as well.
Yeah, and he had an interception taken away from him earlier in the game too, which we just got a good explanation. Billy Splain from WPA Football. And if you want to go to a great high school football website, go to WPAfootball.net. But Billy Splain he was able to rewind his phone there a little bit and go backwards and show us that the flag occurred before the interception happened. So therefore, that's why Juniata was able to maintain that ball. Because if it happens after Price picks it, then it's Huntington's football. But they're saying that the penalty occurred, the unsportsmanlike penalty against Huntington, occurred before the interception happened. Therefore, negating that, which led to Juniata's second touchdown of the evening. But
It's odd to see that call at that
very
particular point, because normally you're expecting and that type of penalty gets called after action has stopped or right at the end of action. Generally, an exuberance of taking someone down out of bounds is something that you hear on or will happen when you have one of those unsportsmanlike. And generally, it's something that's definitely after the play has stopped. So an odd time for that flag. The time of the flag was the time of the flag. And so, I don't know, maybe that's something the Rules Committee needs to look at. Bearcats playing switch up here as far as their receivers go on the kickoff. Kick hits at the 20-yard line and rolls down to the 15. Price picks it up. He's out over the 30, up to the 35, and is brought down. And a little bit of rough work there at the end on the tackle. Zach Piper giving Jonathan Price a little bit of business as he was going down and down on the field, for that matter. If you want to throw a flag for unsportsmanlike, that would be one.
Yeah, he put him down with a little bit of authority there, but Jonathan Price with a nice 20-yard return to give Huntington good field position here in the to begin the second half. And Dave, like we had said, Huntington can stick to their ground game right now as they were able to bounce back and dig out of that 14-0 deficit in order to set up when you're going to get the ball back here in the second half.
The old
kicking tee.
Forgot to take the tee off the field. Chris Ash.
That's when a dog comes into handy. You know, you see those sometimes at some of those games. They'll run out there and grab that tee. No such luck here at Huntington, but
nope. All right, tee's off the field. We're ready for the first offensive possession of the second half for the Bearcats. Up under center, Andrew Hootie handing off to Ian Border. Tries the right side. Is still going. As once again, it looked like he was stopped right at the line of scrimmage, and he doesn't get a whole lot after that, but he continued to move. And he is down now. He is down on the field and has rolled over onto his back after a gain of maybe a yard. And Border is down, and the clock has been stopped, 11:37, and Mike Hootie is on his way out.
And he is holding his face mask. He is pounding the ground, and those are never good signs.
Nope, to say the least. Always giving it his all. Ian Border stopped, and now when they lifted up his left leg and his knee, he seemed to reach out like he was feeling some hurt there. Now, this can also be depending, well, the way he just moved his left leg, I don't think it is his knee. It may be something completely different. It could be a cramp. He's
rolling around out there awfully hard, though. So
now we got more people coming in from the locker room side of the field, out toward Ian Border.
That's the athletic trainer and Dr. Buzza coming out to take a look at Ian as he's laying out here on the Huntington side. Is very, very quiet. And star running back is laying here on the ground, gripping his face mask and kind of doing some sit-ups, but we'll see what happens here. It's a very critical part, not only to the offense, but also to the defense, as well as Ian Border's a star two-way player. And you just hate to see, any athlete go down with any type of injury.
Coach Hootie, by the way, is back over toward the Huntingdon sidelines, as there's only so much you can do as a head coach. I mean, he was out there right away and obviously concerned about the prime offensive weapon of this team, and now he begins to be helped up, and he's standing, but he is really favoring his right ankle.
He's getting help coming off, too, so not only is he favoring it, but he's getting help coming off. And, you just hope that he's okay moving forward. An injury like this, it doesn't look good for him to be able to come back.
Trying to put more pressure on it the more he comes over toward the sideline, but it is just about every time he puts it down on the field, it is causing him to wince and kind of pull his head up toward the sky. And I've been there with my ankle on a sprain, and I don't know what may be going on with Ian Border at this point, but we will wait. And it's a big potential change in this game, having that young man out.
Yep. Drew Weglar's in at tailback. Andrew Finkel in at fullback now for the Huntington offense as they line up in an I formation here for second down.
And up under center, it's Hootie, and he hands it off. Weglar's carries out over the 40 to about the 42, and that gives the fans a little bit of enthusiasm,
by R.J. Becker.
seeing that the Bearcats are still going to be able to gain some ground
on the ground.
7-yard pickup that time by Weglars. He had 69 yards, 68 yards of good hard running last week against Penns Valley, coming in relief of Border. But Ian over here getting looked at and moving his back towards the back of the bench. That's never a good sign, Dave.
Make that third down and about 4. Handoff to Weglars, and he's out the midfield for a first down for the Bearcats into Juniata territory at about the 49-yard line. So Drew Weglars is picking up where Ian Border left off.
Big third down conversion there for the Bearcats as Weglars out to 2 carries and 16 yards already, proving that Huntingdon is deep. We said that before, that they've got some good players. I mean, a guy like Ian Border is irreplaceable, but Weglars showing that he is a very capable back in his own right. 2 carries, 16 yards, and an all-important first down as Huntington's able to advance that ball past 50-yard line.
First down, Bearcats football in Juniata territory at the 49-yard line. Hootie hands the ball off. Drew Weglars carries, and Drew,
again,
I'll tell you what, God bless you, young man. You've come in and filled in. Those are big shoes to fill, Ian Border's shoes. But Drew Weglars says, okay, I'm up to the challenge. And so far has been able to rip off some nice gains. That time 6 yards and a second down and 4. By the way, welcome to our latest Bearcat broadcast booster, All-American Pizza and Subs in downtown Huntingdon. If you'd like to be a part of whatever upcoming playoff run there is, call Greg Banks, weekdays 9 to 5, 667-7195. Hootie in the shotgun takes the snap, and he keeps, and he has a first down and more, almost breaking it for a touchdown, and a touchdown-saving tackle from fullback Bryson Clark.
That's a Bearcat first down.
As he grabbed a hold of the ankles of Hootie, tripped him up enough right at the 25-yard line, and Andrew went down at about the 23, but it's another Bearcat first down, and this is going to be huge if the Bearcats can indeed on their first possession of the second half put it in for another 7. They're leading the game 21-14, and there's 9:44 left to go here in the third quarter. Hootie in the shotgun. Weglars beside him to his left. He hands it off to Weglars.
With the carry again.
And he gets back to the line of scrimmage and maybe picks up a yard on the carry to set up a second down and 9 for the Bearcats. But we've talked about this, and we've seen, the second string guys get in any number of games. And Drew Weglars, maybe the only reason he's second team is because Ian Border's just that good first team as far as being a running back goes. Drew also a senior, 5'11", $180. And, of course, he's one of my favorites because he's a baseball guy.
Going to IUP.
Back to pass. Hootie lets it go. Pass intended for Ben Briggs. And it goes a little bit too tall, a little bit too long, and it'll bring up a third down and 9.
Nice play call that time by Huntingdon. Andrew floated that ball just a little bit too far, but a good play call to get the tight end involved and just show Juniata a little something different.
Ian Border did get up for a little bit, but he's sitting back down on the bench. His folks are down there with him too, I think.
Yeah, that's his folks. But he did get up and walk around on it, which is a good sign.
Big third down here for the Bearcats. Hootie back to pass and tries a crossing pattern, intercepted by Juniata. And was that Lauber with the interception? No, it was Bryce Leonard.
Yeah, Bryce Leonard with the interception.
So Leonard picks it off and gets it back out to the 20-yard line. So even though Weglars was able to keep that offensive drive going on a big third down play, they went for that crossing pattern over the middle, and it was thrown a little bit too much ahead of Jacob Wagner, and it ends up being intercepted. Juniata ball first and 10 at their own 20. 21-14. Big task now for the Bearcats defense. Handoff goes to Bryson Clark. Clark gets out over the 20 to about the 22-yard line. A gain of 2 and a second and 8.
And they've done a good job all night long, Dave, with keeping the running game for Juniata in check. And we saw that last week against Penns Valley. Huntington did a really good job on the running game. It's a passing game. They have to continue to make the big stops, as Juniata has shown that the receivers have the ability to get open, but the Huntington defensive backs, specifically Werner and Price, had the ability to close and get that ball tipped away.
2nd down and 8. Bearcats need a stop here, and it's going to be a quarterback keep by Parson. He goes over the left side. He's down over the 30, and he's going to have a first down for the Indians at the 31.
Pickup of 10 that time by Parson. Little stutter step in the backfield. Was able to get him freed from the linebacker and then able to scoot out to the sidelines to pick up the first down.
1st and 10, Indians ball at their own 31. And the Bearcats, that's the first time now that Huntingdon has had a first down against the Bearcats for a while, because that defense stiffened up there in the second quarter for the Bearcats. So you don't want to give these guys any momentum. They've proven that they can get into a roll. Handoff goes to Bryson Clark. Clark will end up picking up maybe a yard out to about the 32 to set up a 2nd down and 9.
And he was stuck hard by Landon Fisher that time. That was a tough 1 yard gain there by Clark, as Fisher was able to come up and just really stick his helmet in the midsection of him and drop him for or only keep him to a 1 yard gain. Clark 6 carries, 13 yards. So their big back really not getting it done on the ground, but for Juniata to try to air a couple out here and try and get back in this ball game.
I think you got one coming to Lauber right here. Nope, it's going to be a handoff. And that one inside to, was that the Piper?
Piper on the carry, tackled by Fisher.
Zach Piper and Landon Fisher with another big stop for the Bearcats on a no-gainer and a 3rd down and 9 with the ball still at the 32-yard line. So this is the telltale for the Bearcat defense. They need to come up with a stop here. Ben Briggs looks like he's about anxious enough to get back there and maybe even sack Jeremiah Parson. And Drew Weglars has been put on a gator, the old John Deere gator, and is being taken down to the locker room. Parson rolling to his right is going to throw it out of bounds. Zach Piper was out there, and the pass falls incomplete, and the Bearcats do end up with a good stiff defense on the end of that to force a 4th down. 6:57 left to go in the 3rd quarter. 21-14, Bearcats have that lead they had at halftime.
Great defensive stand that time by Huntingdon to force Juniata into a punting situation here, Dave. But again, Parson had nowhere to throw that ball. Everybody was completely covered, and his only opportunity was to be able to get rid of it out of bounds.
So one big thing about the Bearcat defense tonight, the pass coverage has been outstanding. Here's a good punt. Fielded by Price at the 30. Backpedals a bit, tries to wait for some blockers, none coming. Turns it upfield, he'll have to use his speed to gain a little bit, and he ends up picking up about 3 yards on the return. Make it 2, I guess, as he fielded it at the 30, backpedaled, and ended up getting back to the 32. That's that favorite yard marker that we've had. If you'd have said something about the 32-yard line. By the way, did you play lottery when you went home last week?
No, I didn't. I should have, but we did not. So
you missed out.
Yeah, probably did.
The planets were aligned in your favor.
Yes, I had to go to work Monday morning, so no lottery was played.
Oh, well. 6:43 left to go. 3rd quarter, Bearcats lead it 21-14, and the Bearcats on offense once again for the 2nd time here in the 2nd half. Man in motion, Price. Snap to Hootie. He's going to keep it. He's out over the 35, up to the 40, and tripped up.
Tripped up by number 12.
So real close to first down yardage here, and you're going to see a lot. I think you're going to see a lot of this of Andrew and these quarterback runs here in the 2nd half.
Baylor with a stop for Juniata. That's first down, gentlemen.
I think it is, too. We'll wait and see where he's spotting it a yard ahead of where that guy's spotting it, so it looks like it's a first down for me. They're going to measure.
They're going to end up measuring. Right. It's a first down.
There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. Well, hey, better to be safe than sorry. The teams clear away, and they're unaware, some of them, that they're going to come in and measure here. So the Bearcats get out of the way of the chain gang, and they're going to come from the far sideline.
This is how confident I am. I'm going to give Hootie the 10-yard gain because I'm sure that it is an absolute first down here. I don't think there's any question about it.
No, we saw some eyeball jobs by some of the refs so far this season, and you were going, what the heck is he thinking? And at least these guys they're erring on the side of caution because
full yard ahead of it.
Yeah, after they stretch the sticks. As Chad said, that's a full yard beyond what they needed to gain. By the way, if you're curious, Ian Border was driven in to the locker room area on that gator. He didn't even get out and make an attempt to walk in, so We'll probably not know anything in particular until next week as to what may be going on with Ian Border. One of the guys I did see that was Ryder Kosick is in a boot. His right foot is right ankle in a boot prior to tonight's game. Hootie with a pass complete.
To Andrew, 50.
Good pass.
Andrew Miller.
Great pass that time as Andrew faked the handoff to Weglar, sucked in the defensive end, and then was able to just put that ball on a dime to Andrew Miller with great hands to pick that ball up.
Andrew squared. Hootie
Andrew
to Miller.
squared, yep.
Bearcat first down in Juniata territory at the 46-yard line. The Bearcats trying to get the first points, that is, of the second half. 5:52 left to go in the third quarter. No one has scored yet. This is the second possession of the second half for the Bearcats. And Hootie has trouble with the snap, but he pulls it down, and he's going to end up getting a first down. Well, right near a first down where he goes out of bounds, but it was a bit of a high snap, a little bit of a juggle, a little bit of moisture on the football, and Hootie kept his wits about him, not going into a complete panic. He went into a little bit of a panic. I'm not going to say he didn't panic at all, but
let his feet guide him to where he needed to go. And Andrew, I mean, this is a big quarterback. Andrew is not a small quarterback at all, checking in at 6'1", 210 pounds, and he can move. He is a very good athlete back there at the quarterback position.
He's been a big part of the offense here in the second half and will continue to be that. Now the Border is out of the game. Handoff to Weglar. He's trying the right side. He's going to get down over the 35, or they may mark him right down at the 35 for no gain. We'll bring up a second down and 10 for the Bearcats.
You know, this adds a little bit of a different dimension to what Juniata has to think about. Is before they could go ahead and try and lock down the line of scrimmage and make sure Border wasn't going to go anywhere. But now, with Ian out of the game, decidedly it looks like for the rest of the game at this point in time, they don't know who to attack. They're not going to know where the next offensive player who's going to get it. So this could be I don't want to say into Huntington's favor, but it is going to be a little bit of a disguise for Juniata.
Quick handoff to Weglars. Weglars gets down over the 35 to about the 32-yard line, so give him a gain of 3 because we like him. And that'll make it a third down and 7.
He's running hard, Dave. You know, the one thing you're seeing out of Drew Weglars is there's definitely no quit in him or his feet. He's trying to get everything he possibly can.
So a big third down and 7 with 4.5 left to go in the third quarter, as the Bearcats desperately trying to get the first points here in the second half. Defense stiffened up to stop Juniata on their lone possession here in the second half, and Hootie's back to pass. Lets it fly down the sideline. Wagner makes the catch and then dives for the end zone, but they say he went out of bounds at the 4.
At the 4-yard line for a Bearcat first down.
Great pass that time by Andrew Hootie as he floated that ball up for Wagner, as Wagner had 3 steps on that defensive back. Wagner able to make that catch and then stepped out of bounds at the 4-yard line, but just a great play that time by the Bearcats.
And he really sold it that he had made that leap into the end zone because it looked pretty good, but the referee was quick on that to come over to the sideline and make the out-of-bounds call. Official timeout here. And sometimes PA guys need to realize that your public address, you're here to inform the people, you're not to do play-by-play. It gets very distracting from my point of view. And people, you can hear the play-by-play of Huntingdon Bearcats football on 94.1 FM in Huntingdon, also on the airnetwork.net. And you don't need the guy in the speakers at the stadium to do that for you.
Andrew now up 7 of 13 for 139 yards, 1 interception, and 1 touchdown on the night. So Andrew Hootie turning it on when he needs to. 7 carries, Dave, for 44 yards and a touchdown. So, really starting to carry the Huntington offense as we see Izzy Reed over here, number 50, kind of holding his right wrist as he's going to come over here and get looked at by the trainer. See what's up with that.
All right.
Izzy Reed, the starting center, so keep that in mind that Izzy Reed is the center, and he is over here on the sidelines as we're looking at quarterback-center exchanges. We got a new center in the ball game.
Big critical part of the game. There was one snap there that was a bit high to Hootie that he pulled down and turned into positive yardage.
Nick Buckley in at center right now.
And here's his first snap. It's a dandy right to Hootie. He's going to keep it. He keeps driving. And did he get in? No signal from the officials. They say he's at about the 1-inch line.
That is the longest 3-yard carry in the history of football, Dave, is what this is going to turn into.
Yeah, statistically, you
cannot give him 4.
Nope, can't give him 4. So
it is 3, but
it is literally an inch away from the goal line. I mean, if the wind did blow real hard from our right, it'd blow it into the end zone.
Yep.
Clock rolling, 3:30 left to go in the third quarter. Bearcats, Hootie is going to keep, and whatever potential tackler there was goes down, and that was Wade Moore of the Juniata Indians. The flag came in. They're going to sort that out, and the Bearcats are going to have to try again. A hold. That's an old bugaboo of the Bearcats, and they get a call on it here. And it's going to take them back a ways as the high-stepping umpire comes out and puts it at the 11-yard line. So he did another good job placing that football.
Yeah, well, it's right behind the 10-yard line, so that's telling you that the hold took place right at the line of scrimmage.
Yep, well done.
Huntington's 6th penalty for 52 yards on the evening, but a big one as it moves them behind the 10-yard line as opposed to right at the goal line.
2nd down and 11. The handoff this time to Weglars, and he tried to escape through a wave of tacklers from Juniata. He was unable to do so.
And set up a 3rd down here, Dave. And one thing I want to point out is we were talking about the weather in the second quarter, how the wind was blowing from left to right and then right to left, and the rain was kind of swirling and all that other stuff. Mother Nature has turned off the spouts. Those flags over on the other side are not moving at all, and there's no rain.
And it's just cooler.
And it's just cooler. I'm bringing that up because we might be looking at a 4th down and a field goal situation, which is a lot better now than what it was in the second quarter.
Homecoming balloon escaping into the night sky. Handoff. Nope. Hootie with the play action throws, and wide open was Alex Mikett. But it falls incomplete, a little high and wide from Andrew Hootie that time.
And that's exactly what we're going to see here on this 4th down as Gio Scaccia and the field goal unit trottle into the field for what should be about a 22-yard field goal.
On the field. Setting up for
Actually,
shouldn't say that.
27.
27-yard field goal.
Yeah.
Let's mark that out, right?
It's okay.
27-yard field goal
if
here
they'd ever
for.
Put those damn hash marks down like we told them to.
They won't.
No. It's too much out of the budget.
27-yard field goal attempt from the right side.
Spot, kick, up, good.
It looks good. Way to go, Gio.
Gio Scaccia, a little redemption after missing an extra point earlier in the football game, has made it a 24-14 Bearcat lead with 2:36 left to go in the third quarter.
And Dave, when you're looking at high school football games, Juniata has a good kicker on their side. Having a good field goal kicker like that is an absolute weapon. Not a lot of high school teams are blessed with the ability to be able to do that. That's the 3rd field goal for Scaccia on the season. He kicked earlier. He had a 30 and a 31, and then that one going in from 27. So having Gio be able to do what he does gives you a nice luxury that not a lot of high school football teams have.
Gio is just a freshman. So
is he a freshman? Am I missing that? He's not a sophomore. He is a freshman, huh?
Yeah. That's what my roster that you gave me says.
So that's good.
Anyway, the one big thing about that is, you know, you got a guy that's really as accurate as he is this young, and he's going to get better. He's going to improve as time goes on and get more distance, and hopefully the accuracy stays there. So, at any rate, moving on. A reminder, Huntingdon Moose Family Center 223 presents the Huntingdon Halloween Parade Monday, October 23rd in downtown Huntingdon. Come on downtown on the 23rd. Make sure Chad States doesn't get too much candy.
No.
And get set for a...
Make sure.
Oh, look at this.
Make sure Emily States doesn't get too much candy.
Greg Banks pulling out Spooktacular. Yeah, Spooktacular evening of fun. Line drive kick fielded at the 10, out over the 15 to 20. 25. and then met by a slew of
with
Bearcat
Foltz.
tacklers. Ethan Grove brought down at about the 25.
So you had Foltz and
26
Query and
maybe.
Wagner in there on that stop as the Huntington special teams is really swarming. Juniata has some good weapons back here as far as kick returners. There's some fast kids, but the Huntington special teams is making sure that they are not getting very far.
Another, as they all seem to be, big series for the Bearcat defense. Only picking up 3 that time, but leading by 2 possessions now. Quick handoff, and turning the corner is Ethan Grove, the guy who just did the return, and he's brought down not long after he turns that corner. Let's give him a couple of yards on the play as he gets out to the 27.
This Huntington defense, again, doing a really good job of bottling up Juniata. Give you a quick total on what they have.
Bearcats have done a great job.
42 yards on the ground for Juniata and still only 72 through the air. So doing a great job here through the third quarter of just bottling up this Juniata offense. It was hard to figure out to begin with.
Secondary has been outstanding, and so is the line. This time the handoff to Bryson Clark, and Clark may get, maybe we can give him 2 yards on that and set up a 3rd down and 6 as he's out near the 30-yard line. As the high-stepping umpire puts that ball down just shy
Juniata,
of the 30.
2 of 8 on 3rd downs so far in the ball game. 1 of 2 on 4th downs, but only 2 of 8 on 3rd down. And this is another third and medium range to long for Juniata. So look for him to go to the air. I really look for him, Dave, to try to get the big tight end, 83, Ben Lauver, into the game here.
One of the problems when your rushing game isn't going that well, Lauver is here on the near side, and the snap as quarterback Jeremiah Parson was under center, and I think there was some motion by the Indians. We'll see what this flag is as it's sitting at the 25-yard line. And indeed, it is a false start by the Indians.
False start against Juniata.
10 penalties, 72 yards for Juniata.
10 penalties
10
is
penalties.
something at this point in the season you're not really
happy
if you're a coach. And I'm sure Gary Klingensmith is going to talk to the boys about
And here
this.
you had a 3rd and manageable too, Dave.
Yeah.
With a 3rd and 4 coming up, and now you've just dropped it back to, what's going to be a 3rd and 11 situation. It just totally changes the play that you wanted to try to run.
All right. Now you'd have to think seriously that this is a pass play. And we've got 2 guys out wide. One of them is Lauber. He's on the near side. It's going to be a pitch back, and that's going to be a loss of a yard.
So it was the same play.
Nothing's going right. R.J. Becker is who Parson pitched the ball back to, and he's taken down immediately, and that's going to bring up a 4th down and another punt.
And I'm going to scratch my head on that and wonder why they didn't try to throw the football.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the play they were going to run before the penalty. They decided to run it afterwards. I would have thought 5 yards would have changed that play call, but it did not. So
yeah, that's one that has you scratching various and assorted sundry body parts.
Jonathan Price sets up to receive the punt.
Clock rolling down, and it looks like the quarter is going to expire, and the only points that are scored in the 3rd quarter belong to the Bearcats. A Gio Scotcha field goal has made it 24-14. Bearcats with the lead. Back with a 4th quarter after this. You're listening to Bearcat Football on the AirNetwork.net and 94.1 FM in Huntingdon.
Call Austin Smith Heating and Plumbing for affordable heating, plumbing, and drain cleaning services in Huntingdon. Count on 12 years of insured excellent service when it comes to heating, plumbing, ventilation, and drain cleaning. Call Austin Smith Heating and Plumbing, available evenings and weekends at an affordable rate. Call 814-506-5128. That's 506-5128 for Austin Smith Heating and Plumbing in Huntingdon.
All-American Pizza and Subs in downtown Huntingdon at 612 Washington Street is the home of the new Bearcat Sub. Enjoy mozzarella cheese with bacon, crispy chicken, sour cream and chive fries, and our top-selling wing flavor, Mactown Gold, all wrapped on a fresh homemade roll. Try the Bearcat plus our many other great pizzas and subs at All-American Pizza and Subs. Don't forget their new Pepsi flavor shots, too. All-American Pizza and Subs will donate $1 for every pizza sold during October, with proceeds going toward breast cancer research. Call 643-0222 for delivery. Open till 9, closed Mondays.
Hi, I'm Andrew Finkel. You're listening to the Huntingdon Bearcats on the airnetwork.net.
Back at Huntingdon War Vets Field, and the punt is away. This is a little better than the last one, and it's fielded by Price, a fair catch, actually, at about the 41-yard line. That's where the Bearcats will take over. And it was an impressive bounce back after losing their star offensive player in Ian Border. The Bearcats were able to compile some certain. He's back out here. Yes, he is. And he's trying to make. I'll tell you what, unless I would see something dramatic with this offense, that they couldn't move the football, which I have not seen.
He's not seeing the field tonight at all.
Yeah, go ahead. You're done till next week. We're going to make sure you're okay for that game coming up against Bald Eagle.
But it's good to see him out here on the sideline standing. That was a big concern for us.
Yeah, he hadn't spent much time on his feet since he went down. Jet sweep. Jonathan Price turns it upfield, up over the 40, 45, 50, taken out of bounds at about the 40. Oh, here's some strange, and I shouldn't say that. It looks strange to me. It looked like he had made it to the 45 of Juniata, but they whistled him down and out of bounds. Sooner than that, another Bearcat down on the field, Drew Weglars, I believe. Is that Weglars?
I'm trying to pick up the number, and Border's going to step back out onto the field now.
Boy, in the same kind of movement that Ian Border was making when he went down, and
we've got Border back in the game.
Border's running back in, and I'll tell you what a tough kid. What a tough kid.
Yep, that's Weglars down, and he's going to hop up, and looks like he's going to be all right, but the last thing Juniata wanted to see was big number 44 coming back into this game. I can tell you that right now, as Border comes back into the ball game here with 11:44. Go figure.
Yeah, good point. All right, go play the lottery tonight, State.
Yeah. Once again.
That's. I think the Lord's directing you in a certain area.
Somebody's talking, and I need to be listening. And Dave, if I hit the lottery, we'll be doing these games in glitz, let me tell you.
In glitz.
In glitz.
Will there be glitter booty?
No, there'll be something.
1st and 10. Fakes the handoff. The Border does Hootie, and he keeps it, and he does not get much as he tries the left side of the line. He may have picked up a yard. It'll be a 2nd down and 9. But it is just amazing to me. I basically thought the Border was, and even though he came back out, I would just say, hey, that's okay. Let's go for this series.
But when the backup tailback's rolling around on the ground,
that's what forced us to happen. And Weglars appears to be okay. He's on the sideline here right in front of us and having himself a little Gatorade or water at this point, possibly Gatorade. Hootie in the backfield, in the shotgun. Lets it go. Intended for Price. Bounces off. A near interception by Ethan Grove. And Price had it bounce off of his shoulder pads as well, and it ends up being an incomplete pass. And I'm just having a little trouble with the PA guy here tonight. The fact that, boy, I'll tell you what, that's not what public address is all about.
3rd and 9 for the Bearcats.
10:57 left to go in the 4th quarter. 24-14. Bearcats with the lead. Andrew Hootie in the shotgun. Border to his right. Hootie rolling and now tucks, and he'll run over the 45, the 40, the 35, down at the 30-yard line. Andrew Hootie says, I'll take it from here. R.J. Becker with the stop for...
Big 16-yard carry that time for the quarterback, Andrew Hootie, as he's really starting to get it wound up on the ground game. 64 yards on 10 carries for Andrew, and really trying to help offset what they were missing in the backfield with Border back there, but also showing another run or another weapon that Huntingdon has. Andrew's been a little bit inconsistent with his runs throughout the year, but tonight he's really doing a good job of picking his holes and getting through them.
Somewhat because he had to.
Yes.
Handoff does go to Border this time. He'll get over the 30 and be taken down at about the 28-yard line. It's going to be a gain of a couple for Ian Border, and a 2nd down and 8.
Give him 2. Still a relatively quiet night for Border. 12 carries, 47 yards on the evening. But, the more important thing is it's a 24-14 lead for the Bearcats.
About to go, under 10 minutes left to go in the game. And the Bearcats got some momentum after giving up the first 14 points of the game to Juniata. It's been all Bearcats since. They have scored 24. They're up by 10, and they're on in their second sustained drive of the second half. And timeout is called by the Bearcats, leaving them with 1.
With the dome light on down by the river. If you own a silver Dodge Grand Caravan, license plate.
Good thing is I don't own a silver Dodge Grand Caravan.
I thought that was a song title. Your dome light's on down by the river.
That's right. But if I did own a silver Dodge Caravan with my dome light on, I would be ill-equipped to be able to go turn it off. It would just have to stay there.
If this is your phone, report to the press box on the Juniata.
All kinds of fun.
All kinds of fun.
Also a found cell phone, which Lord knows the way Americans are nowadays, you might as well have lost a pint of blood.
Dave, the most impressive thing I have ever seen with a cell phone was the most impressive thing I've ever seen on a cell phone was what they did in Iowa whenever everybody held it up, turned their flashlights on, and waved that at the Children's Hospital behind Kinnick Stadium out there in Iowa. It was absolutely, almost a tear-jerking type moment that happened in college football. You don't see that stuff anywhere else. That's why you got to love the game in its purest at the high school and the college levels is what you see whenever you see stuff like that.
And credit to the people at Iowa designing that children's hospital wing so that it is in full view of the football field. Hootie launches one for Price. Touchdown! 28-yard touchdown pass. Andrew Hootie to Jonathan Price. And it makes the score Bearcats 30. Juniata 14.
And Dave, that ball could not have been thrown any better. It was stride for stride, hit him right where right as he was crossing the goal line. A perfect pass by Andrew Hootie that time as he hits his favorite target, Jonathan Price. Price with his 2nd touchdown of the night.
Gio Scotcha in for the point after here. 9:39 left to go. Low snap. Warner gets it down, and Scotcha puts it up and through. So some good work by Jarris Warner to get that down and set up so the Gia could punch it through the uprights and make it a 31-14 Bearcats lead with 9:39 left to go in the football game on a homecoming Friday night that didn't start out the best for the Bearcats, but has progressively gotten better, despite the fact that we were all so concerned about Ian Border when he went down there in the 3rd quarter.
Andrew Hootie, 8 of 16 tonight, Dave, 167 yards and 2 touchdowns, so having quite the evening. Also 10 carries, 64 yards, and 1 touchdown. So Hootie accounting for 3 of the Bearcat scores as Huntingdon stretches out their lead here with 9:39 to go. And with the defense playing like it has been, which is lights out, this game is starting to lose its competitive edge.
Well, I think they got one more stand they have to make defensively, and then I'm going to be somewhat settled that this could be another win for the Bearcats, but not quite yet.
Well, we saw this in Bellefonte. Huntingdon stretched out to a big lead like this, and then some mistakes let Bellefonte get back into it. So you're correct. We have seen this before, but a little bit more seasoned as the season goes along, so to speak. And
Juniata has the ability. That's all I'm saying. They showed us that at the beginning of the game. Monday night sports talk coming up at 7 o'clock Monday evening. Local, regional, and national sports conversation on the airnetwork.net. We do have a phone that you can call in on and be a part of the conversation. 814-506-0609. That's 814-506-0609. Monday night sports talk, Monday at 7 on the airnetwork.net and 94.1 FM in Huntingdon. Gio Scotcha had the ball teed up, and the breeze has picked up a little bit again. It blew the ball off the tee. He has it reset, and he's ready to kick off to the Juniata Indians. Scotcha up, lets it go. No flags, no offside, and the line drive is taken at the 13-yard line, out over the 20, the 30, up to the 35 and near the 40.
He is tackled by
Eventually,
and
nice
Bickle.
return for Ethan Grove.
Probably one of the better returns we've seen against Huntingdon all year long, as Groove was able to
And
scoot up there, but
He's slow to get off. the
slow
ground.
to get off. We've seen a lot of that tonight.
Now, I think this may be, if he is unable to do so, a wind knocked out of him kind of thing.
Yep.
Because he landed square on the football right in about the diaphragm area.
Yeah, and he's sitting up on his knees, too, which is a
Yeah.
good indication of that. Absolutely.
So, his teammates take a knee, and so do the Huntingdon Bearcats.
Just so you know, Huntingdon-
support of a fellow athlete.
Huntingdon in action next week at Bald Eagle area. You'll be able to catch us on the airnetwork.net as Huntingdon takes on the Eagles of Bald Eagle area at Alumni Stadium on the turf. I can tell you, Dave, that is one nice football stadium we will be visiting, as Bald Eagle area did some very nice renovations over there.
Well, I guess so, because last time I was there, it was grass
Yeah.
and a muddy mess.
No, it's nice.
It was
In fact,
a muddy mess after a hurricane.
I'll be visiting it tomorrow as the Huntington Boys Junior Soccer,
Uh-huh.
Junior High Soccer team will be playing on that Alumni Stadium. I'm sure that they will enjoy playing on the turf tomorrow and a nice cool day at 10 a.m. as those boys have to get up and be on the bus at 7:45. So, Ryan, if you're listening, and I know you are, I'll see you tomorrow morning. But, the Huntington soccer teams, all of them are having a very good year this year. So hats off to what they're doing here in the fall as well.
Ethan Grove has regained his composure and makes it over to the sideline, accompanied by one of the trainers. He got the ball out to the 40-yard line from the 13. So that's a nice 27-yard return.
Very nice.
On the line drive kickoff by Scotcha. Here we go. Big series for both teams. Juniata. Parsons under center. Fades back to pass. Big rush and a sack as Isaiah Reed gets in there and spins down quarterback Jeremiah Parsons.
That's the first sack we've seen out of Huntington all night long. Huntington coming in with 19 sacks on the year. Reed leading the way with 4.5, and now he's going to get his up to 5.5 now. But a good job of being able to get in there and put on.
You talked about
Yeah,
the cell
there it
phones
is.
with the lights on, and Juniata band is working with the cheerleaders on the opposite side. And band members have their phones on with the
Little inspiration maybe from last week. So
yeah, perhaps. Shotgun this time. Parsons back to pass. Here comes Reed again, and he gets there a little bit late. Lets it go. Intercepted. Jonathan Price at the 42-yard line. Price had been begging for an interception all night. R.J. Becker, the intended receiver. And I'll tell you what, now there are lots of things that you can look at when you're a college recruiter, when you come in to look at a guy. But when you come in to look at Price, you may initially think of him as a receiver guy. But I'll tell you what, you got to look at the kid's defense.
this Huntington secondary has played very, very well, Dave. And you're right, his defense has been just off the charts good tonight.
So between he and Warner, they've had some outstanding ones. And finally, Jonathan rewarded with the interception. And it's Bearcat football at their own 42. And this could be the drive that ends it all. 8:39 left to go in the game. And it looked like it was an option play. Hootie keeps it. He gets back to the line of scrimmage. Flag came in, and it's an illegal shift against the Bearcats.
Flag on the play.
Bishop Guilfoyle continues to roll in high school football as they defeat Penn Cambria tonight by a score of 35-0. And as long as BG is going to play at that level, as far as what class of teams they're playing, are they ever going to lose a game?
It's hard to think that they would.
Yeah, I mean, we've had a little bit of that discussion on the airnetwork.net's Monday night sports talk.
They are a juggernaut.
And there is, I think, a point where the PIAA has to either create a parochial division, or if you're a parochial school and you're drawing from outside, you got to go up a class.
And I agree with you 100%. I've been clamoring that for years, that it's just not fair to those single-A schools.
Weglar's back in and running back. It's a pass from Hootie, and it's complete to Jacob Wagner. Wagner is gone. It is a Huntingdon touchdown. And you never want to say it's over, but I'll tell you what, that could be the stake in the heart of the Juniata Indians. A big play from Hootie to Jacob Wagner. Weglars was one of the points I was trying to make. He was back in there as a running back, which was good to see. And before I could get that out of my mouth, Hootie had it released, and Wagner with the touchdown for the Bearcats.
Andrew Hootie up to 230 yards passing tonight. Price with 108. Wagner with 102 yards as far as receivers go. So 200-yard receivers for the Bearcats. It's been a long time since that's happened.
And Scotcha puts it up and through to make it Bearcats 30. And that should be 31, shouldn't it?
38.
38, okay.
It's 38-14.
38-14. So the Bearcats had a 21-14 lead at the half. They've scored 17 now in the second half. And Juniata, after the first two times they touched the football, jumping out to a 14-0 lead, a character-building game for the Bearcats, because quite frankly, I know one of the points that you made as we were getting ready for the game tonight was how much this Huntingdon team had been able to jump out to pretty convincing leads, and that allows you to do a number of things. You force the other team into doing something different, depending on how big of a lead you get out to. Now, the Bearcats were down 14-0, and that was new territory for them in this season, but to their credit, there was no panic. They just methodically came back, tied the game, went ahead, and I thought they recovered nicely, even though their first couple of possessions were not that good.
No, not at all. But Huntingdon showing, again, and I had it written up, many weapons. Stop one, what other one is going to emerge? And tonight we've seen it emerge out of the hands of the quarterback.
Picked up at the 16 by R.J. Becker. He gets out over the 30 and is knocked out of bounds.
As Andrew Hootie has accounted for 294 total yards of offense and let me see here, 1, 2, 3, 4 touchdowns on the evening alone. So 3 on the pass and 1 on the run. So Andrew Hootie just picking it up and going with it, finding the receivers that he needs to, with Jonathan Price and Jacob Wagner both going over 100 yards receiving in the game tonight. So pick a weapon.
33-yard
pick your poison.
Is where the Juniata Indians will start. And in motion is R.J. Becker, and the handoff goes to Bryson Clark. Clark will get up over the 35, it would appear, to the 36, a gain of 3. Or maybe 2, let's make that. A gain of 2 and a second down and 8.
Clark, 8 carries, 17 yards. So their big running back coming into the night with over 400 yards rushing, really just all but quiet at this point of the game.
Could the guy with the down marker move it, please? It's not back there. It's 2 yards ahead of that. Oh, well, nothing wrong with a little nap. Being the age I am, I appreciate naps. 7:36 left to go in the game. Quarterback keep. Jeremiah Parson gets out to about the 38-yard line, so it would be a gain of a couple more, and we're going to set up high stepper moved it back a little bit. Give him a gain of a yard in the third, and
Juniata has 15,
we're going to make it 3rd and 6.
15 yards of offense in the second half.
Big turnaround.
15 yards.
So the credit of the Bearcats, if you wonder what these guys were made of, they faced adversity square on tonight.
Twice.
And they were able to show that they are that good of a football team.
They faced it twice.
You do not want to go to Central this year and have a loss.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Has been tagged on you. And you got a ways to go to make sure that doesn't happen.
Right.
But I think tonight there may have been some doubters in the crowd. It was a pretty quiet crowd.
Yep.
After Juniata went up 14-0.
Yep, absolutely. And Dave, I said they faced it twice. They faced it when they went down 14-0, was able to come back and have a 21-14 lead at the half. They've also faced it a second time whenever their big running back, Ian Border, went down with an injury, and Huntington's tacked on 2 touchdowns through the passing game since he's been down. So, again, just picking up the pieces as they fall down. Next man up mentality.
Well, it has to be that way. If you're going to be a championship team, that's the way it has to be. You cannot be limited by a player. Parson back to pass on 3rd down. Lets it go. Immediately tackled is Bryson Clark, and he's tackled that time by Ryan Corey. Clark stays down after the tackle.
That's a 6-yard loss.
So the defense is been in control of this game after the first quarter, really. They've, if you want to say, reared their ugly head. By the way, with this little bit of a break in the action as we wait to hope that Bryson Clark is able to get up on his own and get off the field, here is this week's trivia question. The Bearcats reached the 500-win plateau in the 1990 football season in a squeaker over the Red Raiders of Bellefonte, 14-12. That was 1990, 14-12 Bearcat win over Bellefonte. Who was the head coach on the sidelines calling the shots for the Bearcats on the 500th win for Huntingdon football?
This might be the easiest question I created all year.
Well,
honestly, somebody should get this one on the first shot.
All right.
I will be disappointed if somebody doesn't get this on the first shot. As Greg Banks is typing,
chiming in right off the bat.
But we're not going to let him.
No, wrong.
The answer is incorrect that we are looking at here. In fact,
and we're not going to read those numbers.
In fact, I will say it is
to you. We're just going to tell you right or wrong.
That is grossly incorrect.
Grossly. 1990 season.
Sorry, Greg, but that is grossly incorrect. 1990 season, 14-12 win over Bellefonte, a game that saw defensive back Brian Walker have 2 interceptions, including returning an interception return for a touchdown to seal the deal in that game, as that happened during my senior season whenever we were out here playing. And, and truly one of the more historic events. Anytime you can get 500 wins for your program, it's great. Huntington nearing the 700-win plateau, Dave. This will be win number 685 if they're able to go ahead and put this one away with 7-11. It's looking like that. So tonight with program wins 685 and closing in on 700 within the next probably year, maybe 2. Might take them 2 to get to that. But
By the way, if you want to phone in a guess, 814-506-0609. Greg Banks anxiously awaiting your call. Your reward for guessing this correctly is nothing. So just playing along. Just playing along. Give it a guess. Greg Banks missed. Here's the punt. It's a nice punt. It's over the head of Price. He backs up and gets it at about the 27. Now, Price turns it upfield. He gets out over the 30, and they'll mark him out of bounds at the 32, so ends up gaining 5 on the return. It's been the story of Jonathan Price's night, where those kicks have been coming down. They've been those spinning ones, and they tend to carry a little bit further each time, and it's caused Price to end up backing up. And but you know what? He's been able to get positive yardage. So, by the way, that we'll continue to take answers to our trivia question up until the end of the game. We'll let you know at the end of the game. Somebody tried to interrupt our Skype phone call. Drew Weglars with the carry there as he ends up losing a yard.
Come on, folks. This was an easy trivia question for you. No doubt about it.
What's your answer, buddy? What's your answer?
In the second half, really, it's getting done through the air. 130 yards passing for Hootie in the air. But it's a Bearcat defense, Dave, that's really making a big difference as they've allowed 11 total yards of offense.
What's your answer?
Hello?
Handoff goes to Weglars. Weglars out over the 40, 45 at midfield. Still going, brought down at the 46-yard line of the Indians.
What's your answer to the question, ma'am?
2-yard pickup that time for Weglars, and he just ran like a thoroughbred through that line. And
do you have an answer?
His feet moving, just running really hard. Can't say enough about what the backup tailback has done, but not just that. I'm going to give Andrew Hootie some serious props here as he has just come out and played an outstanding offensive football game tonight for Huntington when they needed most.
Andrew Hootie standing at about the 49-yard line of the Bearcats. Hands the ball off this time to Andrew Finkel.
Finkel with the carry.
Finkel
brought down by the middle
gets
of the Juniata defense.
Within a yard of the line of scrimmage, so it's going to be a loss of 1.
Yep, -1 for Andrew Finkel that time, the junior fill-in running back, but also has played very well on defense, as that Huntingdon secondary has just all but shut down the Juniata passing game that they really, Dave, on the first 2.5 drives, looked really good and really effective with, and then it's just kind of dried up and not been there, and a large part of that is thanks to the cornerback play of Jarris Warner and Jonathan Price tonight.
Clock rolling, 5:19 left to go in the game. Bad snap, gets past Hootie. He has to backpedal and cover the ball up at the 37-yard line of the Bearcats. A huge loss on a second bad snap of the night. The question is, who was snapping at that point?
I didn't see if Reed was back in the ball game or not.
But we've had a couple of snaps that have been an adventure over the course of tonight. By the way, somehow Greg has this set up that phone number I gave you is not usable when we're doing a football broadcast. That's some other Skype hoop-de-doo crap that we do so you can call in on Monday Night Sports Talk. And can't use that here tonight. So the bottom line is, George Green, congratulations. You have the correct answer for tonight's trivia question. The Bearcats reaching the 500-win plateau during the 1990 football season in a 14-12 squeaker over the Bellefonte Red Raiders. The head coach roaming the sidelines at that time and calling the shots for the Bearcats, Tom Gibney,
who also coached the Huntingdon baseball team to its first state championship many years after that. So that was Tom Gibney, my senior year, 1990 football season.
George Green, congratulations.
Flag on the flag.
That and $10 will get you a cup of coffee at most Starbucks locations, even though it is national. The one place, a little bit of commentary here. What is the thing that the Starbucks places became famous for? Coffee. Am I not correct?
Yeah.
Today is
National
Coffee Day. Who had absolutely no specials for National Coffee Day?
Sheets did.
Starbucks had absolutely no specials. This is what your company is built on, for Pete's sake. How can you have no specials on National Coffee Day? By the way, the ball is now back at the Bearcats 32, and it's third down, and jeez.
Another flag on the flag.
And a flag flies in. And see if we call the false start or if it's encroachment. Coach Hootie's arguing for encroachment.
He's not going to get it.
He's not going to get it.
I saw two of his big linemen stand straight up, so he's not going to get that. So Huntingdon 9 penalties, 67 yards. Fortunately, these are happening in the fourth. You never want them to happen, Dave. But
and the white hat, by the
fourth
way,
one.
shoes Coach Hootie down the sleeve.
Yeah.
Just move.
Yep.
Get out of here. It's now third down, and
that's bigger than
that's
Bigler.
Racetown Lake.
That's even bigger than that. It might be Lake Michigan.
Beaver Run.
Yeah, that's a big one. 27 yards. And a quick kick, which is a smart move.
And it goes off the foot of Hootie, hits at about the 35, and keeps rolling in favor of the Bearcats, and will be touched down at the 18 of Juniata. You're absolutely right. What a great call.
Yeah, it's a 55-yard punt with 4:32 left to go. You were in serious jeopardy of not making anything. Why try to do something that you can't do? They don't have anybody back. Your quarterback's your punter, Dave. Let him have at it, and that's a good call.
38-14, Bearcats with a lead, 4:32 left to go in the ball game. And you'll be able to punish yourself by listening to the rebroadcast of this game. Greg Banks is projecting a 10:30 playback of this particular game.
I don't know why he
tonight.
does that to the public, but, hey, if you want to listen to us, feel free.
Yeah.
My wife listens to me, and I'm sure she wears earplugs and tries to tune me out, but you can listen to us on TuneIn Radio and pick up the rebroadcast of this game as Huntingdon looks to go 6-0. It's looking like that's going to happen.
Jeremiah Parson rolling to his right. Nobody to throw to. Great secondary coverage. Now, the only thing that did happen toward the end of the play is Ben Lauver, the closest defender to him, Ben Lover, the Juniata tight end. 25 yards away was Jonathan Price. Otherwise, it was just kind of Lover and a lot of green.
Yeah, you didn't see what happened, though, as Price was running with him stride for stride and hit about the 40-yard line, but saw that Parson was headed out towards the sidelines and dropped off his coverage, knowing that it was going to be a run that time. So actually a smart play by the quarterback, knowing that it was going to be a run.
Price has had an all-star night. There's no doubt about that.
Price and Hootie both. I got to give props to the quarterback. He's just done outstanding.
Parson with a late delayed handoff that time to Zach Piper, as Piper gets over the line of scrimmage and picks up maybe a couple more. And that's going to set up a 3rd down and almost 5. 3rd and 5, we'll call it from up here.
It's amazing the transformation of this game, Dave. You know, through the first 2 drives, you saw Juniata just, again, like we said, methodically going down the field, using the running backs, you know, having them flare out with the passes out in the right behind the linebackers, and then hitting Lover at will whenever they wanted to. For the first 2 drives, Juniata was doing exactly what they wanted to do, and then it stopped.
Yeah.
And the Huntingdon defense switched gears and just took control of this ball game.
And this is going to be a keep by Parsons. He has a 1st down and more over the 35, the 40, up to midfield, and is dragged down from behind by Jarris Warner.
That will be good for a Juniata 1st down.
So Jarris Warner pulls him down. They're going to mark him down at the 48 of the Bearcats, and that's kind of the spirit that Juniata had at the beginning of the football game that Chad was just alluding to, as they were able to, you know, it might have been 3rd down and 5 or 3rd down and whatever, and they were able to rip off these 10 and 15-yard plays and put some nice drives together and took that 14-0 lead. Right now, they are down by 24, so it may be too late. Oh, there's a pass there, and his receiver, Bryce Leonard, and Jeremiah Parson, apparently not on the same page in the playbook.
Leonard turned in with his route for a slant route, and Parson threw it as Leonard was supposed to, a sideline or an out route at that point in time. Ball goes one way, receiver goes the other. It's not going to be a completion.
And fortunately for Juniata, not an interception as well.
Right, exactly right. As Parson has thrown 2 on the evening, 1 to Alex Mikett, which I know there's no way he saw him. I don't know how he didn't see him, but there's no way he did not see him. And then Price coming up with the big interception here in the second half and missing out on one earlier.
Here's a
running back.
Pitch to Stephen Rank. Rank turns the right side of the line and is eventually taken out of bounds before he gets to 1st down yardage.
Ben Briggs and Lenny Fisher.
Taken out of bounds at the 42. A popular yard line in tonight's game. Brings up a 4th down and a short 4 or a long 3, depending on how you want to look at it.
Juniata obviously going to go for it here. There's no doubt. You have to.
Parsons hands off, and getting the 1st down is Bryson Clark. Good to see him back in the game, as he was slow to get up on the previous possession and eventually walked off the field on his own, and he's a little slow getting up this time, but not. Yeah, that looked like Clark to me, too, and it ends up being Ethan Dibben.
And this is either 4 yards there and a cloud of dust for Clark and a 1st down.
That's good for a Juniata.
Actually, Dibben, wasn't it? Ethan Dibben.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, my fault, Dibben. But anyway, still 4 yards and a cloud of dust. Yeah. And a 1st down for Juniata.
Yeah, regardless.
2:24 to go in a 38-14 ball game.
The clock is rolling. The Bearcats are going to walk away with victory number 6 on the season. Nice handoff, and this could be a touchdown. Zach Piper is down to the 10, the 5, and is pulled down at about the 2. So Piper stopped short of touchdown yardage, but still rips off a dandy gain there, Chad.
Yeah, absolutely. Showing his shiftiness. I mean, he's a little guy, so he's able to hide behind some of those big offensive linemen that Juniata has. And he just made one cut back to the right and was able to scoot through the Huntingdon line and all the way down for a 36-yard run down to the 1-yard line.
Clock rolling, under 2 minutes left to go now. Bearcats up 38-14. Parsons hands off.
Piper again.
Once again, and It's Piper, the ball carrier, but he does not get into the end zone. As a matter of fact, well, we're going to call it no gain, but he almost lost a yard.
Yep.
On that. Here's one that kind of surprises me to a degree because we had certain expectations of the Clearfield Bison. Bellefonte 48, Clearfield 28.
Bellefonte's a good football team. They put it to Tyrone last week, and you saw that they gave us all we could handle.
Oh, yeah. Here's a touchdown pass that goes from Parson to Stephen Rank. No flags. And so Juniata adds 6 to their total on the night to make it a 38-20 game with 1:16 left to go, and it looks as though there may be a 2-point conversion attempt by the Indians. So to their credit, even though it's at an insurmountable point for them at this point in the football game, they still put together a drive that was a mirror image of the first 2 possessions they had on the night. You wonder what happened in between those bookends. 2-point attempt is no good as Parsons' pass goes incomplete, intended for Lauber. But a nice drive by
absolutely.
Juniata.
And we haven't seen that since the first quarter, Dave. That's the first one that they've really been able to put together since the first quarter. But, now you're playing for next week. Now you're trying to carry momentum and trying to do the good things that's going to carry you into next week's football game. And that's what Juniata did there with that drive, as they were able to score with 1:16 left to go and cut this down to an 18-point lead. Pretty much insurmountable at this point. As Huntington will move to 6-0. Again, traveling to Bald Eagle area next week for another big football game. Bald Eagle area is a very good football team on its own. Again, we're seeing how good that Bellefonte football team was. And the other thing is we're also going to see how good Mount Union is. Mount Union had not lost a football game since opening night to Huntington, 57-0. Mount Union has turned on and rolled up to a 4-1 record. So, Huntington's showing that they are beating good football teams out here.
Yeah, they aren't gimmies. They've racked up these kind of points against competitive football teams. And quite frankly, Bellefonte was within 1 interception of actually getting back to the point where that game was going to go right down to the wire.
Right.
And a big interception was what turned that game around and put it firmly in the Bearcats' pocket. And right before the kickoff, a whistle sounds. And everybody goes in toward apparently it looked like we might have had a Bearcat that lined up past the midfield mark, and it is a penalty, 5 yards. And so the Bearcats have one of their favorite penalties on a kickoff, except they're the receiving team this time.
Both teams, 10 penalties, 72 yards on the night.
So you're expecting the onside here, and I guess that's why there was a little bit of encroachment. And it is an onside kick attempt. It will not go far enough.
It won't even go close to far enough. That ball barely made it 5 yards. So
spun dead in the thick grass of Huntingdon War Vets Field.
Right at the 50-yard line.
So the Bearcats will be out there on offense one more time. 1:16 left to go, and Isaiah Reed is out there. So.
Yeah, he was just getting his wrist looked at down here by the trainer, so I didn't think it was anything serious. He wasn't really holding it or doing anything other than just kind of trying to keep it stable and having them look at that. So he's been a vital part of this whole Bearcat attack so far this year. He himself and Ryan Corey, who probably doesn't get enough props, is playing just outstanding linebacker. But another great win tonight by Huntington.
Weglar's back in as a running back. Trying to find Border on the sideline here. And it's going to be Hootie with a carry. He's going to get down over the 45 of the Indians and brought down at about the 43. That'll be about a 7-yard gain. You can't beat that. And I'll tell you what, Andrew Hootie putting on his best at his Trace McSorley impersonation tonight.
301 yards of total offense for Andrew Hootie tonight.
That's a Trace McSorley kind of day.
230 through the air, 71 on the ground. He's accounted for 4 touchdowns, 3 passing, 1 rushing. I mean, what more can you say? It's just an outstanding night from your quarterback.
43 seconds left to go in the game. The clock is rolling, 38-20. Bearcats with the lead. Snap to Hootie, back to pass, throws, complete to Wagner, down over the 30, slips, and cannot regain his balance, brought down by Ethan Dibben. And it will be another Bearcat first down. Clock stops as the chains move at 30 seconds. By the way, thanks George Green. He correctly identified our trivia question answer, which of course was Tom Gibney, the guy that got the Huntingdon football program to its 500th win. George listening on 94.1 FM, Community FM here in Huntingdon, and also Peg Bennett listening to us there as well in downtown Huntingdon. Thank you, Peg. Flag on what should theoretically be the final play of the game. And there will be no confab, as the white hat knows what he's calling. Personal foul, Juniata. So that one happened before the snap. But the flag came in and everything. I still don't understand that personal foul on an intercepted pass. That still makes no sense.
I don't either. They're saying, though, the personal foul happened before the interception happened.
Well, then you don't let the play continue.
I have no idea.
There was no whistle blown at all. Okay, if you're going to make that call, blow the whistle.
Right.
Make a statement.
Well, it had to happen during the play. That's the only way it could have happened. It had to happen.
I've just never seen that happen.
Nope.
That penalty be called in that situation. I'm sorry. But anyway, another personal foul here. That one against Juniata, the snap and a knee. Actually, not even a knee. Hootie didn't even have to take the snap. Clock running down, 2 seconds and 1. And the Huntingdon Bearcats, well, the clock accidentally stopping at 2 seconds. It's over. Those final 2 seconds are gone. The final score tonight, Bearcats 38 and Juniata 20. We'll be back for a quick recap of tonight's game right here on the airnetwork.net and 94.1 FM in Huntingdon.
Sometimes facts are hard to face. Statistics show that obesity is a problem in the United States, and it's not getting any better. At Simone Family Chiropractic, we understand this problem. We also know that obesity leads to very serious health problems later in life. There is a way to cleanse your body and get back to optimum health. It is called the Doctor-Supervised ChiroThin System, and it teaches you how and what to eat in the real world. Call us at Simone Family Chiropractic at 814-643-2616, or stop in and see us at 613 Washington Street in Huntingdon, across from All American Pizza, or find us on Facebook.
Penswood.net Classifieds offers the freshest, most recent classified ads available with over 1,500 new ads each day. If you're looking for a reliable used vehicle, check out the multiple ads daily on Penswood.net Classifieds. From cars, trucks, RVs, and motorcycles, you can scan the ads at Penswood.net at any time of the day or night and find something that fits your needs. Looking for household items, student housing, or even a new pet? Penswood.net Classifieds has it. Penswood.net, where you can buy, sell, or trade locally.
D.C. Goodman & Sons and the Goodman family are committed and dedicated to excellence by supporting quality education and athletics for all youth of Huntingdon County. For over 3 generations, D.C. Goodman & Sons and their staff of quality tradesmen have provided excellent service in the installation of plumbing, mechanical and industrial piping, electrical, and fire sprinkler systems. Residential services are also available. D.C. Goodman & Sons and the Goodman family will continue to serve the community, and thank you for your support. The Goodman family wishes you the best to all area students in your pursuit of excellence.
Hi, I'm Drew Weglars, and you're listening to the Huntington Bearcats on airnetwork.net.
Well, there's a guy that was a big part of tonight's game, Drew Weglars, as he was pressed into service when Ian Border went down at the end of the third quarter of tonight's game. And Drew came in and really did an outstanding job. And the other thing that Chad pointed out a number of times here in the second half was Andrew Hootie's ability to run the football and what that meant for this football team. And, I made that comparison between, and, Trace McSorley didn't have his best game ever last week. So But I did make a little bit of a comparison between Hootie and McSorley because Andrew's game was kind of on the order of what McSorley does on a weekly basis for Penn State. 300, what did he end up with?
Well, he ended up with 71 plus 251 is 322 yards of total offense.
322 yards of total offense. Now, that's passes he completed and running plays that he made as well. So, Andrew Hootie, what an outstanding night for him. What an outstanding night, too, for Jonathan Price. And I'm not necessarily, just because he's such an offensive threat for this team, I don't always necessarily pay a lot of attention to Jonathan Price defensively. Wow, what a show he put on tonight.
Absolutely. I mean, he should have had 2 interceptions tonight, but we saw how many pass breakups. He did have the 1 pick. Just outstanding coverage on the big tight end, Ben Lauer, that they needed to have, but also credit Jarris Warner on the other side, who was just as athletic and just as effective. So when you can have 2 shutdown corners, that takes away a team's ability to be able to really do anything on the outside. Now you've got to bottle up everything on the inside, and that makes it easier for your linebackers and your defensive linemen to just tee off, and that's what they did.
All right. It's a 38-20 Bearcat win to take the team to 6-0 in the 2017 season. And one thing I do want to remind you folks of, as it looks as though the Bearcats are headed toward at least a decent run into the postseason, we're going to need your help to bring you these football games because there are some pretty confiscatory fees that are laid on us by the PIAA when it comes to all the bigger our little organization is here and the kind of fees that they want from us into the postseason. So with that in mind, we would like for you to get involved with our broadcasts here on the airnetwork.net and 94.1 FM in Huntingdon. Give Greg Banks a call 9 to 5 weekdays, 667-7195, 667-7195, and commit to supporting Bearcat broadcasts on the airnetwork.net and 94.1 FM through the end of this season. And that's going to be a while. We're going to have some winter clothing on at some point. And definitely...
Curse you, Dave, no.
No, it's going to happen.
It's going to happen. There's no doubt about it.
Tonight, decidedly cool compared to last week. And after we had that rain and wind episode, it definitely was even noticeably cooler than when we got here tonight. It was actually a beautiful evening when we first got here, but we had that rain come in there in the middle of the first quarter and continue into the third quarter, eventually coming to an end. But as I say, noticeably cooler after that happened. Anything else to chime in with here?
No, I mean, again, just a complete effort for the Huntingdon Bearcats tonight. As you saw them, Dave, again, they dropped a 14-0 deficit. You saw what the heart of a champion is, as we talked about. Could they come back from it? Did they come back from it? Absolutely, they came back from it.
Yep.
And really began to run away with this game. So, when adversity hits, that's always what you want to ask yourself. It's gut check time. What are you going to do? Your top running back goes down. Well, we're going to go to the passing game. We can go ahead and utilize that.
Or we got another guy over here in the sideline.
That's right.
We've
got Drew Weglars who come in and just ran great for Huntingdon tonight. So, hats off to Mike Hootie and his coaching staff for adapting to what was dealt with them, but also hats off to these kids for, just coming out and showing, again, what I like to call the heart of a champion and running the record to 6-0 as we travel to Baltimore area next week for a big game between the Bearcats and the Eagles.
Bellefonte 55, Clearfield 28. That's almost the end of that game. Be sure to be tuned in tomorrow. The Pitt Panthers will be hosting Rice at Heinz Field in Pittsburgh. That'll be at 11:30 with the pregame activities with the Pitt Panthers here on the airnetwork.net. This game will be coming back to you at 10:30. That's what we're shooting for. Hopefully we can make that happen. As the final score tonight, once again, Bearcats 38 and the Juniata Indians 20. For Chad States, Greg Banks, and everyone else here at Huntingdon War Vets Field, this is Dave Shannon. We'll see you again next week at 6:45 with the pregame when the Bearcats travel to Bald Eagle area here on the airnetwork.net. For everyone mentioned, this is Dave Shannon saying good night, everybody.
Call Austin Smith Heating and Plumbing for affordable heating, plumbing, and drain cleaning services in Huntingdon. Count on 12 years of ensured excellent service when it comes to heating, plumbing, ventilation, and drain cleaning. Call Austin Smith Heating and Plumbing, available evenings and weekends at an affordable rate. Call 814-506-5128. That's 506-5128 for Austin Smith Heating and Plumbing in Huntingdon.
All-American Pizza and Subs in downtown Huntingdon at 612 Washington Street is the home of the new Bearcat Sub. Enjoy mozzarella cheese with bacon, crispy chicken, sour cream and chive fries, and our top-selling wing flavor, Mactown Gold, all wrapped on a fresh homemade roll. Try the Bearcat plus our many other great pizzas and subs at All-American Pizza and Subs. Don't forget their new Pepsi flavor shots, too. All-American Pizza and Subs will donate $1 for every pizza sold during October, with proceeds going toward breast cancer research. Call 643-0222 for delivery. Open till 9, closed Mondays.
Thanks for listening to Bearcat Football on the airnetwork.net and 94.1 FM in Huntingdon. Tonight's game presented by Huntingdon Moose Family Center 223, the heart of the community, and by D.C. Goodman & Sons and the Goodman family. Tonight's game also brought to you by Simone Family Chiropractic at 613 Washington Street in downtown Huntingdon. Henswoods.net, the home of free classified ads. And by Austin Smith Heating and Plumbing of Huntingdon. Join us for rebroadcast of tonight's game throughout the week here on the Air Network and 94.1 FM. Get set for more live Bearcat action all season long, exclusively on the home of the Huntingdon Bearcats. This is the airnetwork.net and 94.1 FM in Huntingdon.